Oh, cool, cool.
This one, and then this one. All right. So hopefully now everybody can see both of us. So
I'm waiting to see what I look like in the frame.
well, you're just facing the wrong way. It just looks weird. It's like
Yeah,
it's like trying to get a
I don't
cat
have
to look at
time for
itself in the
PS
mirror. It's trying to get you to
PlayStation
look at the
Classic.
TV. All right. Anyway, hopefully everybody sees this. Welcome everybody to another Tuesday night live stream. Tonight we have our first guest ever in the form of Coury from
Hi.
My Life in Gaming there, and you know, I chose not to wear a hat tonight because in solidarity with my brother, I'm gonna let it shine. So
Heck yeah.
yeah,
Heck yeah. You
all right,
know, it's a very freeing thing just to put it
yeah.
out there like
Well,
that.
you shave it though, right?
Yeah, I buzz it about every 2 weeks.
Yeah. See, I don't have the courage for that. I wish I did. I'm not a man.
It was a hugely it felt like a gigantic weight had been lifted from my shoulders.
Yeah, I just think some people look good that way and some people don't. Like you look good that way. I don't think I would, especially because I have the beard, and then it would just look odd. Like I shave it, I trim it all the exact same length, so it's like mowing the lawn, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do like my facial hair the same length too. It's just like with like the one guard
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
level 1.
Oh yeah, I think I do a 2.
Let me tweet that I'm in this.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. Anyway, so while you're tweeting there, so just a couple quick things. I know I put this in the video description, but I just for some reason I feel the need to make this, to say it again. This is not a sponsored stream, and I only say that because I did the Sega Genesis whatever sponsored stream a while back, and because somebody might be wondering like, why the heck are you streaming this thing? And it's just because I'm a huge fan of the PlayStation and I just want to check it out. And I know it's gotten horrible reviews from everybody, and maybe it really is that bad, but I just, as someone who loves the PlayStation as much as I do, I just want to see it for myself rather than just canceling a pre-order, because I can always just send it back to Amazon. So
What is your impression of the physical unit?
well, I haven't even opened it yet. So
Oh, okay.
see, so Oh yeah, so I'll just explain that real quick. So I've already run the cords that I need to hook it up, so that I'm not wasting everybody's time fumbling around with HDMI cables and whatnot. But the box is still sealed because I just wanted to wait and open it here. The box looks cool. I'll say that. You know, for those of you who are just buying this to put it on the shelf, you know, they knocked it out of the park on that one, I think. But the good news may end there. I don't really know. So, all right. Now you're a big fan of the PlayStation, there, Coury. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah. When did you get
probably
a
my
PlayStation?
third favorite system.
Your third favorite.
Yeah, after Super NES and Genesis, probably.
All right, I can respect that.
Yeah, I got mine the summer before Final Fantasy VII came out.
Oh wow, you got that 96.
Yeah, and you know the price had just dropped. No, it was summer of '97.
Oh, that's the summer that Final Fantasy VII came out.
Well, yeah, I meant because I think about it because I started college then, and it came out my first week of college, so it's like, oh, the summer is over. That's what I think about.
Oh, that's cool. I got mine right around my 20th birthday, so it was like the spring of '97.
Okay, so you know that was a good time to kind of to buy in. I thought
definitely. All right, so inside the outer box was just an inner box. Just a white box with a PlayStation logo. There's a manual. We don't really need to read that, I don't think. And then, so inside that box was this sort of box with the top cut out. And that's got the actual PlayStation unit in it. So that's how big it is compared to... Here's an actual PlayStation controller. So that's how big the mini or whatever is. Of course, it's in a plastic bag, so now we're going to have to open that. So, I mean, it's about the same size, I would say, as the SNES classic.
Yeah,
just,
see,
you know, just turn that
that's kind of the big reason to have it, I think, just because of how it physically looks.
I mean, yeah, it looks exactly like a PlayStation should, except, of course, for the USB. You know, it's got the USB ports in the front there. But,
right.
But
I like that it's kind of like like the controller connector is the same, but it just has the USB sticking out of it.
Yeah, that's one thing I really didn't like about the Super Nintendo. That's actually the only thing I don't like about the Super Nintendo Mini is that you have to flip the front down.
Right, but it worked really well on the NES Mini.
For sure,
it seemed natural.
Yes. All right, so it comes with 2 controllers, as everybody knows. There's lots of unnecessary extra packaging. And so it comes with the micro USB cable and an HDMI cable, but it doesn't come with the little power brick. And I'm guessing that's probably just so they could have the same package and sell it in multiple regions. And
not which is kind of the reason they had this whole problem with the including the PAL version of the game, because it's just easier for them.
Yeah, that's still very lazy. So some people were asking about this whole plugging in a keyboard thing. And
yes,
we can try it. I do have a USB keyboard here, although I don't actually know which thing is, you know, I got like 9 things plugged into the back of my computer, and I'm afraid I'm going to unplug what I think is the keyboard, and it's going to end up being the Elgato or something. So this is kind of cool. I'll just show, I mean, I feel like I want to show the cool stuff because it might be all downhill after this. I don't really know. But so like this is the controller connector. I don't know if you can see that too close, but you can see that once you plug it into the system, it'll look just like a mini controller connector. So how
long is the cable? The controller cable?
About 3 feet, I would say, maybe, or like a meter. Probably about a 1 meter cable.
I don't understand why they don't just include like a 6-foot cable.
I don't really get that either.
Like another
it comes with a pretty short HDMI
cable
too. I don't know where they think you're sitting.
Yeah.
All right, so
I think that's such a cool looking connector. I'm just kind of like, since I'm so far behind on the.
I understand.
On the video here.
I have it set to high lag. Okay, I got everything. Everything's plugged in here. So for anybody that's interested, when you plug it in but don't turn it on, the power light is amber instead of being off.
Oh, okay. So it always has a standby light on it.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. I have the wrong HDMI cable plugged in. 1 second. I still have the ripcord HDMI cable plugged in. There we go. All right, it's up. All right, well, we have to pick our language first here. I wonder what the difference is if you say you want British English or English English, just I guess the way they spell color.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. So hit English here. And they give you the console button guide. So, I mean, I think everybody knows all this stuff by now, but like all 3 buttons on the console do work. Much like the classic Nintendo consoles, hitting reset takes you back to the home screen. The power button does the same thing a power button would normally do. And the open button that would normally open the disc tray on a real system allows you to change discs if you're playing a multi-disc game like
That's cool.
Final Fantasy 7.
You got a $10 Canadian donation.
From Duckfield, thank you.
Who says, please do a read of EGM issue 2.
I don't think I have EGM issue 2.
I have EGM issue 2.
Oh, you do?
That's the one with the consoles coming out of the explosion, isn't it?
Is it? If so, that's a cool issue, but I don't think I have it.
That was the first one that I bought. Because the first one is kind of like a weird buyer's guide.
Yeah. Oh, man, they skipped the other half of the splash screen. So
it doesn't have like the black screen with just the logo coming up?
It has that, but on the real system where first you get the white screen that has that...
Yeah. It doesn't have that part?
No, so it has the same as if you put a PlayStation game like into a PS2. So you get like half the splash screen.
What?
Yeah, I think that game audio might be a little bit loud here. So
that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't care for that.
The bro is arguably the most iconic part of it.
Oh, I agree. I had a hard time way back in the days when I did the PlayStation launch video. I took great pains to make sure I got that. So for some reason, I don't know if
it's kind of hard to capture because it's
right, because it takes a minute for the so for some reason it tried to boot straight into Battle Arena Toshinden unless I accidentally pushed a button and didn't notice. Which I guess would have been okay, but I don't. I was thinking of checking out Destruction Derby first, but I don't know why I think.
Yeah, let's back out and look at the menu because the menu is.
The menu is cool.
I mean, it's a good idea. It's not really what I expected. I guess.
What were you?
I didn't expect them to really celebrate how the PlayStation 1 menu looks with like the kind of rainbow splotches and stuff.
Yeah, well, it's only got the little rainbow splotch under where it says play there, though.
Yeah, but
I mean, I kind of thought it was cool. The only thing is, like, when you had a PlayStation back in the day, how much time did you really spend in the menu system? Like, the only time I was in there was when I needed to make room on my memory card.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, to me, there's nothing all that iconic about the menu system. I think this
unless you didn't have a CD player, I guess.
Yeah, see, I had a CD player already, so I didn't never use it for that.
So let's kind of go through each game. Let's just kind of.
Yeah. All right.
Let's
start with this one because it was a launch game here. So, so it's got Rayman. That's cool. I like Rayman. That was a launch title.
Yeah, I mean, like I never think of Rayman as being on the PS1 as much as
what, Jaguar.
Yeah, I think of it as a Jaguar game.
Hey, wow, Smoke Monster's here. What's up, Smoke Monster? He's never been here before. I think we have you to thank for bringing Smoke Monster over. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
That's cool. Yeah, I agree. To me, Rayman, I think more of Rayman as being a Jaguar game, but that's cool that it's on here.
Yeah.
And then next we have Resident Evil Director's Cut.
It is the director's cut, but it is not the DualShock version.
True.
Which everyone talks about. The DualShock version has this really awful music in the basement. There's just like these like horns and sounds like really weird.
Yeah.
And that is not in this version.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you think about them? Do you think it was good that they put the first Resident Evil on there versus like?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Resident
I think
Evil
that it's pretty cool that they did the first one because.
Yeah.
It's a good place to start. For one thing, I mean, starting with 2, you kind of need some knowledge of the events of the first game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so next we got Revelations Persona. I am not at all familiar with this game. You got anything?
I know it's very expensive. I used to have it. It has first person dungeons, I think, like Fantasy Star 1.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have no idea. So next we got
But
Ridge
it's
Racer Type 4. That I believe is the only driving game. Well, if you want to count Destruction Derby, I guess. But obviously there's no Gran Turismo on here. Some people were upset about that, although I think
there's
that
too
was
much
a little bit
licensing.
unreasonable to expect Gran Turismo to be on here. That would be like a
Yeah,
licensing
I mean that
nightmare.
would have been really cool. But R4 is definitely a good choice. You know, it's the most robust Ridge Racer game on the PS1 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of content there, and even that, you know, it came with a second disc that had a 60 frames per second version of the first game.
Yeah, that's very cool. Did you have this game back in the day or no?
I did, and you know, I'm not even a big driving fan,
Yeah.
but you know, R4 definitely had a cool style to it that
Did you
made me
did you have
made
the
me a
cool
bit more of a
controller
fan.
that you could get when this game came out?
Did I have a what?
There was like a cool controller that you could get when this game came
Oh,
out.
is it like the Nijicon or something?
No, no, no,
Or the
not the. So it
Negcon?
wasn't the one that pivoted or whatever in the middle. Although that works with this game, I think. But they had a different one that had like a thumb steering wheel, like right in the middle of
Right.
the controller. I can't remember what that one's called. That's not the Negcon or whatever.
Was
But
But it was a Namco one, wasn't it? Like
yeah,
the JogCon. Was it the JogCon?
was it the JogCon? It doesn't. For some reason, that doesn't sound right to me. But I'm not sure. But the point is, you didn't have it.
Right.
Okay, me
Definitely not.
Me either. So, well, I didn't have this game because I was a Gran Turismo guy, though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what the deal is with the series now. I mean, has there even been one since last generation? Like since
I mean, I don't think so, but
the
you're kind of asking the wrong guy because I don't really, I just barely bought a Switch. Now I feel like I'm Mr. Cool Modern Gamer guy. So, all right. So moving on to the next one. This is a personal favorite of mine, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. This, a little bit of classic gaming quarterly trivia for everybody. This is the only game that I have ever beaten in the arcade on 1/4.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, so I mean, this is a stupid story, but so this was at the university where I went. Oh yeah, someone says it is called the JogCon. You were right. At the university that I went to, where I now work, but we used to have an arcade, like a basement arcade. And one time I had like 15 or 20 minutes to kill before class, and so I went down in the arcade because they had a Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo machine, and I put a token in there, figuring that it would take me about 10 or 15 minutes to get game over, and then I would go ahead and go to class. But I just kept winning, so I ended up ditching class ultimately, just because I'm not going to walk away from a game when I'm doing so well. And I made it to the end, and the boss, if you want to call him that, at the end of the game is Akuma, and Akuma is very hard to beat. So like I could probably beat him like maybe one chance in 4, one chance in 5, and I just happened to get lucky or whatever, and I beat him. And so this is the only game I've ever finished. I've only ever like 1CC'd the game, arcade game. So that's pretty cool. Do you? I mean, this is a game you've played or not really?
Yeah, but not a whole lot.
Yeah. All right.
I have the HD version.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
on a Capcom digital collection disc.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. All right. Next, there's another. This was a favorite of mine back in the day. I feel like when people talk about games not aging well, this would be an example of that. Although I kind of don't really care for that phrase, but
There's a couple of things about Siphon Filter.
yeah.
One, he has this incredibly exaggerated run animation
Yeah.
where he like really swings his butt when he runs in this game.
That's very true. Yes.
And the other thing is, and probably the best part about the game,
Yeah. I
is
think
that
I know
you
what you're going
have
to say, but go ahead.
you have this taser.
Yep.
You have a taser.
Yep.
And you can electrocute the guys or like the enemies, and if you just keep on tasing them, they will eventually catch on fire.
Yeah. No, that is the best part.
And it is the best part about the game.
I wonder if I looked on YouTube if anybody has ever posted a long play of Siphon Filter where they used nothing but the taser for the entire game. I bet there's one of those on there. Unless there's some area where you have to use something else. But
Right.
yeah, I got Siphon Filter was like, once they started having greatest hits games, I started buying greatest hits games. Like I would wait for games to come out. So I had a whole strategy where I would keep an eye on the Sunday paper. Like every
Hmm.
Sunday I'd read like the Best Buy ad and the Target ad because they used to always put in the ad like, "Oh, these games have been lowered to $20, right?" Because that meant that it just hit greatest hits. And then I would go to the store that day and I would
Oh,
I would look for copies of the game that didn't have that neon green, that was still an
yeah.
original copy.
Hmm.
And I think this was one
And
of
even
those games.
sometimes
But
they would just like they'd put a sticker on there. It was just
yeah, and
the
then you could just peel it off. So
yeah.
all right, next is
That's a smart move.
oh
That
yeah,
that green is ugly.
it's awful, right? I mean, I don't. It's not that I minded that it was a greatest hits copy, like so that it was, you were letting the world know that you were cheap. Like I didn't care about that. It's just why did of all colors, why that one? So next we have Tekken 3. Now, I recognize the greatness of the Tekken series.
Mhm.
So nobody get mad. I personally have not played that much Tekken because I'm a Street Fighter, mostly Street Fighter 2 and its derivatives guy. And
Same same here.
yeah, all
Same here.
right.
But
So
I,
no,
I can definitely appreciate Tekken 3.
yeah,
Tekken 3 is a game that really pushed the PlayStation hardware.
yeah,
I mean, the whole game runs in 480i at 60 frames per second, and it's pretty impressive.
yeah,
And just a ton of characters.
yeah, yeah. I just like I said, I never owned a Tekken game back in the day. I think I have the first one now just for its historical
And
significance. But
this apparently is the first time that the PS1 version has been re-released anywhere.
oh wow, that I did not know.
Because I think it has to do with
You
the
couldn't buy this on the PlayStation Store or something or
no,
PSN.
it was Tekken 3 was included as a unlockable in Tekken 5, but it was the arcade version.
Oh, all right. Well, that's cool.
And I think it's
guess.
because,
Or
the PS1 version included this one Japanese like dinosaur character, this kid's character, something like called Gon.
oh, so he's
Gon.
like licensed or something.
Yeah, and I think
Oh,
that's kind of what was preventing that. But I wonder if they've removed him from it. I don't know.
I didn't. Well, yeah, I didn't know that. All right. So the next game. Do we even need to talk about this? Really? I mean, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six was that like a big time game, and I just didn't really. I thought this was a
I
very
remember
odd
it being
inclusion,
popular
personally.
because I mean I was working at Electronics Boutique when the system was out.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was people that were into it, but I mean, I don't feel like anybody is really, really excited about this being included.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly not. I wouldn't call it an iconic PlayStation game.
Yes.
Okay. But speaking of iconic PlayStation games, next we have Twisted Metal, the original Twisted Metal.
Oh yeah. I mean,
What? You don't like it?
well, no. I mean, it's totally fine. I mean, who made it? Was it Single Track that made that? And they also made it like a couple of other of the launch games.
I don't know. I have the
Um,
box right here, actually, believe it or not.
Like the develop.
Yeah,
Like
you're right. Single track. Look at you.
And they did like Jet Moto, and they did a whole bunch of those.
Long
They did
box.
like I think they did Warhawk.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't Warhawk on here?
I don't know. That's a good question. You should have told me you love Warhawk. I would have brought it downstairs.
Yeah, it's got like a live action FMV at the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, something I didn't tell everybody. So this is why Classic Gaming Quarterly is like amateur hour, and My Life in Gaming, these are like the pros, right? Is because Coury was the one that told me, he's like, you better get an actual PlayStation and get it hooked up and ready to go, like as an emergency, if this thing ends up being like a dumpster fire. So I do have a PlayStation right here already hooked up with a stack of games. So that's why I was saying I could have brought down Warhawk. But all right. Anyway, I mean, I don't know what to say about Twisted Metal. This is a game I actually had back then. It was one of the early games that I bought for the PlayStation. In '97, but by then I think you get this game for like $20. I don't know if they even had greatest hits games yet.
Yeah, 2 is probably out by then. 2 I think is the more loved game. I think I saw someone in the chat say that it's more loved too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people consider probably 2 to be the best of the 4 that came out on the system.
Yeah. Did you ever? So since you got your PlayStation on the same time that I did, at that time, what was your opinion of long box games?
I I didn't really want them, I guess, because having dealt with the the annoyance of the size of like Sega CD games,
Yeah.
I preferred the smaller, like normal CD sized CD cases.
Yeah. So that's kind of how
Um,
I was. Like I had this like I think I talked about this in a video a while back, but I had this Case Logic like padded CD case that held like I
mhm,
think it held 30 CDs, and that's where I
mhm.
kept all of my PlayStation games because I would slide it under the TV stand in my room. And so I didn't
Oh,
want to
okay.
know I didn't want to know anything about long box games because they wouldn't fit in that box. But at that time, you would still see them. Like I would go to like the Good Guys or something, and they would still have some long box games. And sometimes they'd be cheaper, but I didn't want them because they were in the long box. But now it's funny because now they're the more people
I
want
mean,
those now. For
yeah. I mean,
collectible.
I think it's an easy thing to like easy subgroup to say, hey, I want to collect this subgroup of games.
Yeah,
It gives you like something to focus on, I
sure, yeah.
guess.
All right, so sorry, this is dragging on, but so
That's all right.
next we have Wild Arms. So
Wild Arms is a great game.
is it all right? So just I'll admit I have Wild Arms, and I might have Wild Arms too. I've
Mhm.
never played them, so I always kind of. It's funny. I think Bithead said something about this a while back, but
Mhm.
he looks forward to like retiring because then he'll have time to play all these role playing games. Because like for me, I just don't have time to play role playing games anymore. Like I did when I was in college, but now like I got too much going on. But I
Yeah.
keep all of them because to me, when you're old, I'm not gonna be playing like Ikaruga when I'm like 65, right? You just can't do it probably. But you can play role
Yeah.
playing games all day long.
And so Wild Arms is on your list.
Yeah, that's why I've always hung on to it. Is because that's a game I can
It's
check out.
it is like that's the game I got with my PlayStation.
Oh, cool. All right.
It was I was big RPG fan at the time. I mean I still am, but I don't have the time to play them as much as I'd like. But
Right.
but Wild Arms is good. It was a good game to get because I finished it just as Final Fantasy VII came out.
Oh, that's cool. We don't have to talk about the
First one
games
I
I
think is
had
the best
before.
one. I mean, I don't know if a
Yeah.
lot of people would agree with that, but
I might not even have two
I
anymore. I know I had it, but I might have gotten rid of it
two
anyway. So
has I'm pretty okay with bad translations in games.
yeah,
Uh, like I mean, I played a lot of
yeah.
the
I don't.
like a lot of 8-bit and 16-bit
Yeah, I don't
uh,
mind.
RPGs, and the translations were not great.
Yeah.
But Wild Arms 2 has one of the worst translations. It's
Oh wow.
practically unplayable. It's so bad,
Okay. Well, I don't want
and
that
that's not
then.
something I say. Like I
Yeah.
would like the two worst translated games I've ever played are Wild Arms 2 and Breath of Fire 2.
Oh, that's too bad. All right. Oh, so before we move on to the next game, somebody in the chat just said Bithead 1000 is the funniest man on YouTube. So I just want to say, first of all, I think I might agree with that. And second of all, you see, now we're starting down this road where I have a guest on the show here. See? So
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to get Bithead to come on my show, but I haven't been successful yet. But I know that there's a lot of people that watch my show that watch Bithead's show. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody start working on him. We got to get him out of
Yeah.
his
We'd
shed
love to
of.
have him on our stream too. I mean, I just feel like he'd think that we're like that Try and I were like total losers,
That's
and
kind of what I worry about too. I don't want him coming on my show and just yeah, doing that.
he just make fun of us the whole time.
Yeah, right. So next game is Battle Arena Toshinden. So for me at least, the only thing I remember about this game, I've told this story on the channel before about the PlayStation launch and how I did not get a PlayStation at launch, but like one of
Mm-hmm.
my coworkers and all of his friends got one. And I didn't get one because I was 18 and I was working a minimum wage job, which back then was
Right.
$4.25 an hour. And a
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation was $300. So you needed that, a memory card, a game, and in my case, I would have needed an RF cable. So do the math. But
Yeah.
like my coworker and all of his friends, this was the game that they got was Battle Arena Toshinden, and I don't think I had ever played this game until I did the launch episode. And it's definitely not bad, but one thing to keep in mind is that, and I mean, maybe it's a little bit of an apples and oranges comparison, but Tekken came out, the first Tekken came out not
Right.
too long after the launch.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any Battle Arena Toshinden thoughts?
Not really. I've never really played it, but I remember it being kind of a big deal because it was, oh, this is their 3D fighter to go up against Virtua Fighter.
Right. All right.
And it was always kind of compared to that. And it's like when you compare the first Virtua Fighter to Shinden, I mean, Toshinden like looks as like so many more polygons. It's like just throwing around so much more
Yeah.
so much more power,
Yeah.
I guess. And that's not something that the Saturn would be able to show off until Virtua Fighter 2 came out.
What
Or
about
probably
Virtua Fighter Remix?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got that for free though, right? Virtua Fighter Remix. If you bought a Saturn at launch, I think.
Oh, okay.
And registered it, I think they would send you a free copy of Virtua Fighter Remix as sort of an apology for having Virtua Fighter not be all that great. But although I thought it was great, it just didn't look all that great. Although it's funny because I don't want to get too off topic, but I think that if you play the original Virtua Fighter now on the Saturn, people talk about games aging well. I think it's aged better because the graphics are more simple, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, next we have Cool Borders 2. I never personally got into... I think I played one of the Cool Borders games on the demo disc. Either the demo disc that came with my PlayStation or a different demo disc. I never actually owned a Cool Borders game. My first snowboarding game was SSX, which was the game that I bought when I bought my PS2 on launch day. But did you have any of the Cool Borders games?
No.
No? All right.
No.
Okay.
I mean, unbelievable. I think they've made 5 of them. They made 5 of them.
That
There's
sounds
like
about right.
Cool Borders 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then Cool Borders 2001.
Yeah.
I think was the last one.
Well, there was also the Dreamcast game that now I can't remember what it was called. So I just did that magazine read through, the Dreamcast issue 1, official Dreamcast magazine, and they talked about in that issue that this Cool Borders game was coming out for the Dreamcast, but then Sony wouldn't let them use the name Cool Borders, so it got released under some other name, but it is a Cool Borders game.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I was reading through the magazine and doing some research. So, all right.
But I mean,
yeah,
you are right. Like, I mean, SSX. I want to just talk about SSX because
please do. I love that game.
SSX 3 is the best snowboarding game.
Really?
Ever made. I don't think it'll ever be topped either.
I don't know if I've played 3 or not. I played the crap out of 1.
Man, you got to get 3 if you ever see it.
Well, I don't really know how to use it. I have a PlayStation with a hard drive, or PS2 with a hard drive in it, and it's got the whatever memory cards that you can...
I can help you out with that if you need to.
I don't know. Somebody sold it to me and didn't tell me how to use it, and it looks super complicated, but yeah, I'll figure it out. So, next game, this is another game that I had. This was one of my first PlayStation game purchases, because it was a cheap game by the summer of '97, is the original Destruction Derby. And somewhere on the hard drive of my editing computer upstairs, at one point, like before I started getting into doing all these launch videos, I had this idea that I was going to do this like one of my early videos was like I just looked at all of the Streets of Rage games. Mm-hmm. And I was going to do something simple with the Destruction, or something similar with the Destruction Derby games. And I figured if I'm going to talk about Destruction Derby, I should go to a Destruction Derby and like videotape it so that I could have like some actual Destruction Derby B-roll to show.
That's awesome.
And I never made that video, but I still have all that. We have a county fair, here in the county where I live, and every year there's a Destruction Derby, and that's probably like the marquee event of the fair. So I really like Destruction Derby. I don't really care for like the last stage or whatever you want to call it, where then it's an actual legitimate Destruction Derby. You're just in this gigantic area and it's just a Destruction Derby. Like, I like the actual racing tracks that have the intersections where you're just plowing into people. Like, to me, that's way more fun. But is this a game that you played back then, or?
I played it on a demo, I think, but it was made by the developer is Reflections.
Yeah.
Who would go on to make their magnum opus in the form of Driver and its survival minigame. which is
Oh.
is the reason to own Driver. If you ever played Driver,
You know, I had it at one point. I never really played it that much, and I don't have it. And I don't know why I got rid of it because I know that a lot of people like Driver a lot. So,
well, you just need to play the survival
all right,
mini game.
I'll check it out. Well, I
'Cause
actually
it's really
have.
glitchy and hilarious.
Yeah.
And you're being chased. You just gotta survive for as long as you can with like a barrage of cop cars just trying to will stop at nothing to ram into you.
So is it basically like playing Grand Theft Auto after you've already gotten like 5 stars of the cops want to come kill you kind of thing?
Yes.
Oh, I should
Yeah,
check
where
that
they
out.
are just they will stop at nothing and they like lose control of their car. But it's kind of glitchy, and sometimes if you hit things right, your car would go flying up
Yeah.
like above the city
Oh, that'd be cool.
and stuff
Wow,
like that. And then you could take
that's
it
high.
and it had a video editor built into it.
Oh, wow.
So you could edit the replays like from different like angles and stuff like
Could
that.
you save them to your memory card?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. I got this is kind of a well, it's not a non sequitur. I was saying I can check that game out. I got I don't know when it's coming, but I have one of those PSIO devices coming in the mail.
Oh yeah.
Like I put my name on the waiting list like 2 years ago and then forgot about it. And then they emailed me and said, "Oh, your turn is up," and so I ordered one. But
Nice.
all right, next game I know you'll have a lot of things to say about, just as I probably would, and that is Final Fantasy VII. So I'm gonna give you the floor first.
Final Fantasy VII is, it's a great game. I mean, there is. It's hard to say where I would rank it in the scheme of things,
Yeah,
but it's definitely an end of an era. I think even 9, which a lot of people say, it's kind of a throwback to pre-8 games.
yeah,
I still feel like it was a little bit different than 7. 7 was such a big thing.
yeah,
It was one of the first games I can remember them talking about. Oh, the development team is like 100 people or something like that. Like there were so many people that worked on it.
yeah.
But it came out my first week of college, and
Wow.
that's when I realized, you don't have to go to every single class.
Oh yeah, I
you
spent a
could
little bit
skip
of extra
classes
time
and
in
do
school
what
because
you
of that
want.
attitude. But what do you think about, I don't know. I don't know how people are now. I know for a long time there was sort of this pervasive attitude that Final Fantasy VII is overrated. What do you?
I don't think it's overrated.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you
Definitely.
would think that, but sometimes I feel like, I live in California, right? So like we have In-N-Out Burger here.
Mhm.
So a lot of people from around here like won't shut up about how great In-N-Out Burger is, right?
Yeah.
And so then people from like your neck of the woods will come out here, right, and go have In-N-Out Burger, and it can't possibly live up to the hype, right? It's like
Yep.
it's still a fast food hamburger, right? And so in
Yeah.
some ways I feel like it's the same thing with Final Fantasy VII. Is some people hold it up as being the greatest game ever made, and so the people that never played it want to try it, and they're like, yeah, it's good, like because there's
Yeah.
nothing the game could have done at that point to make anybody think like, oh yeah, that really is that great. But
In the chat, we have Jesus Christ says that the FF7 was so incredible.
Yeah.
I don't think younger people will understand how ground shattering the game was when it came out.
I think that's
And
kind of true. Yeah, it's one of those
yes,
games that
absolutely.
if you put it in its little time and place, then you really understand how great it was.
And I kind of say the same thing about Street Fighter 2. It's impossible to understand how big it was
Yeah,
without kind of experiencing it
yeah,
as it was happening. And it's
That's
true.
true.
I mean, it was cool, especially as an RPG fan, to kind of see this genre be recognized.
yeah.
And then suddenly there's tons of RPGs coming out. And when I used to be able to play every single one that came out because you'd get one a year,
Right.
and now I can't possibly keep up with them.
Now, you had a Super Nintendo?
I had a Super Nintendo and Genesis.
So did you played Final Fantasy 2 and 3?
Yes.
Okay. See, so for me, I didn't have a Super Nintendo. I just had a Genesis. And then, before that, like pretty much everybody else, I had a Nintendo. So I think I bought and sold the original Final Fantasy twice. Because I would buy it because people would tell me it was great, and I would try to play it, and I just didn't get it. Because I never got it like complete in the box. You know, I would get a loose cartridge from like the used game store, and of course there's no internet, right? So I literally had no idea what I was doing, and so I would get rid of it, and then my friends would tell me how great it was long enough that I would forget why I got rid of it the first time, and I got it the second time, and the same thing happened. So when I bought my PlayStation, I didn't know anything about Final Fantasy VII or that it was coming out or really care. But I had a friend who was really into RPGs, and he's the one that like browbeat me into buying Final Fantasy VII when it came out, and I definitely loved it because so that was I talked about I did a read through of like PSM magazine issue #1, and I talked about the whole reason I bought that magazine was that Final Fantasy VII was the cover story, and it had a partial walkthrough, which I needed because I didn't really know what I was doing. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
so
you know, oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say it's one of my all-time favorite games.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I love about it is that you spend all this time in Midgar at the beginning, and you think, if you didn't really know, you would think like, oh, the whole game is going to take place there.
Yeah.
And then you get out of there, and it's like this entire overworld, and it's just.
But it's like if you're playing the game like a normal person, I mean, it's like 10 hours or 8 hours until you get out of Midgar.
Yeah.
So yeah, by that time, you're fully comfortable in thinking, yeah, this is where the game takes place, and then all of a sudden you're thrown out onto this overworld. So
there's like it just goes on forever. It seems like.
So I don't know about this was also the first game that I had that really had impressive looking cutscenes.
Yes.
Like until then, like whatever other games I had on the PlayStation, it was just like, yeah, fine, whatever. But I remember that whenever there was like a really good cutscene, the next time I saved my game, I created a new save game file because then my buddy would come over, and I would make him watch the cutscenes. Oh, you gotta check this out. Like, you know, like, I mean, I'm not spoiling it for anybody at this point, right? But like when Eris gets murdered, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's a really good cutscene. Like it's very sad that that happens, but I mean, it looks really awesome. So, all right. Anyway, we could talk about this all night. But
well, when that happens, you know, from the point that happens, there's this like a couple hour segment of the game that is awesome. You know, I love the part at the beginning of disc 2 is then you're in the in what is it, Junin, the place with the big cannon.
Yeah.
And when Tifa runs to the end of the cannon and jumps off, and then the airship comes up, and she's like hanging on the ladder. It's
pretty cool.
And the music kicks in, and it's so good.
Ryan,
and that's when you get the airship.
Yep. Ryan in the chat says he hates Final Fantasy VIII and Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, I'm not a huge fan of 8. I do like 9, but I've only played through 9 one time. I played through 7 probably 3 times.
That exactly describes me. I bought 8 like I mean, I don't think I pre-ordered it, but I bought 8 as soon as it came out. And I just couldn't.
Yeah, because you're riding high on. You know, it's always going to be just as good.
Yeah,
but, you know, like the more realistic characters.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, I like the idea, but it just didn't.
Yeah, I like 9 though. I got 9. I got 9 came out in like the fall of 2000. I want to say. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I feel like Final Fantasy IX came out not too long before the PS2 launched. Because I remember that when I got my PS2, I was still playing Final Fantasy IX. And that ended up being what I spent most of my time doing with my PS2, was either watching DVDs or playing Final Fantasy IX.
I think you might be right, because, you know, so that was 2000. And it was my second year at the at University of Buffalo.
Yeah.
And because I remember I played through at least 2 of the discs of 9 because it like leaked on the internet, and I had like some friends who had like downloaded it. So, and I had a modded PlayStation, so I played through 2 discs, and I think that I'm pretty sure that I was still playing through it though when the PS2 came out.
It had really cool cutscenes. It had cutscenes that didn't seem like they should be possible on a PlayStation, I thought. Like, as far as the graphical detail went.
Wait, 9?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the cutscenes are great. And it has a really good opening 2 hours where it's like kind of throws you right into the action, or has like the whole plot of like kidnapping the princess and everything. And it has some great, you know, airship cutscenes.
Yeah.
I always compare like the first 2 hours. It's always like been a debate of what has a better opening 2 hours, either Final Fantasy 6 or 9.
Yeah. But like you, I only ever played through it the one time. I think I might have tried to start another game and then just didn't finish it. But all right, anyway.
Going back to it, you realize, the battles move really, really slow.
That's true.
But I've not played the version that came out on the PS4.
Oh,
I don't know if it has like a fast forward or anything.
I just don't have the nostalgia for it that I have for Final. Like I could play Final Fantasy 7 probably over and over and over again, but Final Fantasy 9, like, I don't know. So the next game, this is another game I did have back then, although I think I got it after the second one came out. But that's Grand Theft Auto, and Grand Theft Auto was a cool game when it came out, but I thought it was just kind of an odd inclusion to have here, just because I don't think it was nowhere near as much of a big deal as Grand Theft Auto 3 was.
Yeah, but I think that they just felt that, people think of it. It got to the point with 3 that Grand Theft Auto was seen as a PlayStation series.
Yeah, it's true.
So they thought, we can just.
I don't mind
throw this on there and.
Yeah, I don't mind that it's here. I just feel like probably people aren't going to get super excited about getting to play the original Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Next, this is
another... I've never really played it.
Honestly. It's okay. It was kind of fun for a while, but it's not. I don't know. Whatever. The next game, this is another one of my favorite games from back in the day. That's Intelligent Cube. I had a buddy one time that brought Intelligent Cube over to my house and showed it to me, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I've been very I don't know how much this game goes for now, but I know at least for a while this was one of the more sought after games on the PlayStation, and I've been very lucky that I found it back then for pretty cheap at a Blockbuster, and then later I found like a nicer copy somewhere else. But I really like this game, and then I got there was an Intelligent Cube that came out for the PSP that I think was a Japanese exclusive. That maybe somebody in the chat can say what it was called. I think it was it had all the levels of the original Intelligent Cube and then some extra stuff, but I can't remember what it was called. But it was a Japanese exclusive, but Fry's Electronics used to sell import Japanese games, import PSP games, and it was like $20, so I grabbed it. But I don't know, is this a game that you've ever played or?
Not really. I mean, I have the Japanese version. I got the Japanese version for pretty cheap, but I haven't really spent much time with it.
Oh, well, I don't know how
coworker.
I don't know how it holds up, but I really enjoyed it. Someone in the chat says that this game is now about $100 on eBay, so that's kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people really love it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I can't tell you anything about it.
All right. Next, this is a game I bought actually not that long ago, maybe a couple years ago. That's Jumping Flash, and I only bought it because I was making that N64 launch video, and so I was kind of trying to talk a little bit about the history of 3D platformers, and so I bought Jumping Flash so that I could show a little bit of gameplay footage of it, but I don't think this was a game that I was even aware of back then when I had a PlayStation. Did you play it or know anything about it, or?
I think I may have played it on a demo as well. I mean, just like I did one of the previous games. Yeah, I can't really tell you too much about it. I have the Japanese version of it, and the second one and the third one.
Yeah.
The third one only came out in Japan, I think.
Oh, I didn't even know there were sequels, so you're way ahead of me. But
I'm pretty sure that it even includes the first one in the second.
Oh, well, that
or
would be
in
nice.
The third one.
Yeah, I haven't played this game that much. Like I said, I really just bought it because I needed some gameplay footage. But it seemed kind of neat. I don't really know. Next, we got Metal Gear Solid. Were you a Metal Gear Solid fan back then?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I got that the day it came out.
Oh yeah.
And pretty sure that game came out the same day as Xenogears came out. So I remember buying them at the same time.
It's good to see this game on the PlayStation Classic though.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely an iconic game for the system. I think that it's good because Metal Gear, the sequels were all very good, but they were got very bogged down in like gameplay nuances.
Yeah.
And this is kind of nice just playing it because you just sneak around and you don't have to worry about dealing with the bodies after you kill the guys. It's just it's more up my alley of what I like out of stealth games.
What about VR missions? Did you get that one when it came out?
I didn't get it when it came out, but I got it about a year ago.
Oh wow! All right.
And then when I was in Japan was it in June, I got a Japanese version of it that includes the VR missions.
Oh, that's
it's called Metal Gear Solid Integral.
Oh. All right. Next game we have is Mr. Driller, and I guess only because I don't really know much about Mr. Driller. I mean, this was a 2000 release, so a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was an odd inclusion, just because to me it's like I don't. But that's just probably my ignorance because I just don't know much about Mr. Driller. Actually, I don't know anything about Mr. I've never played this game. Have you?
Yeah, I mean, I have not really played it either. I have the Japanese version of this one.
You have a lot of Japanese games.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they're just
it's
way cheaper.
That wasn't a criticism.
Like, I think that I got the Japanese version because someone local had it, and he's like, "Oh, you can have it for $2."
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm not gonna say no. It kind of has a foil stamped cover on it too.
Oh, that's pretty cool. But I mean, some people were certainly excited to see Mr. Driller on there. I think Frank tweeted something about being happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an oddball, unexpected choice.
Yeah. So this is the last one, I guess. Now, so the same guy that brought Intelligent Cube over to my house brought the original Odd World over to my house to show it to me. I thought that's the only time I ever played the game, but I thought it was pretty cool, like because it reminded me of flashback Prince of Persia.
Yes,
type
exactly.
of gameplay. So I thought it was pretty
like
cool.
those rotoscoped games.
Yeah, rotoscoped. Yeah, but again, I haven't played it too much besides that. But kind of cool.
Yeah,
I've
never beaten it.
I guess.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
I own this one, but I also have the remake on PS4. But I couldn't wrap my head around the whole talking to the like using like the voice commands with
I don't do that.
stop and go.
Yeah.
I didn't have time for that when I was 18, I guess.
Yeah. So do you want? I mean, we've been talking for like almost an hour and haven't even played a game yet, but which I apologize to the people for that. But
we're not losing viewers. People, I think, are into it.
I don't have the window open, so I don't know how many viewers we have. But
no, we got 211 people watching.
That might be a record. That's because of you, by the way. Do you want to talk about games that aren't on here, or do you want to just play a game?
I mean,
we can do.
You can choose one and play, and we can talk about games that are not on there while you play a game.
All right. What should we play? I don't know why. I want to play Destruction Derby. So
yeah, do it.
All right.
Now I've heard none of these games have there's no window borders.
At that.
So
I don't mean to interrupt you, but it even says down here licensed by Sony Computer Entertainment Europe.
Yeah.
Why would it say that instead of America? That's odd. Well, this is very blurry.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Yeah,
I mean it still looks better than it did on my TV back in the day, but I'm saying that it's a little on the blurry side.
Yeah, there's no options that are easy to access, I guess. There's no window borders. Not that that matters much to me, but I mean that might bother some people.
It's also really loud.
Oh, you got a $5 donation from Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy. Tommy's a longtime supporter of the show. So Tommy doesn't normally have Tuesday nights off, and so usually he can't show up until like the stream's almost over. But Tommy's got the night off, so he can hang out. So that's pretty awesome.
Nice.
So it seems like this. So I have my TV here has a volume scale from 0 to 100. I have it on 3. And it's pretty loud. And I noticed I had to turn down the Elgato, the volume level. I feel like I still need to turn it down a little bit. This thing just has, I don't know. It seems like it's a little bit loud. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can say, I don't know if this is somebody says this is the PAL. This is the PAL version.
Yeah, almost half the games are PAL.
Wow. All right. So we'll see if I can tell the difference. I'm not that smart, so. I might not be able to, but I feel like this is a game that I've played enough that maybe if it feels weird, I'll be able to tell,
Yeah, I mean it's definitely going to run slower, and there you might experience some judder,
Yeah, see, that's the main reason I wanted to play it on a real TV instead of just playing it in OBS.
So you can get a really
Because like
for...
sometimes I play games in OBS. Like if I'm just recording gameplay footage, it's fine. I'll just like use the capture screen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But there's judder, you know.
Yeah, you want to be able to see it
Right.
as you know, as it really is.
I gotta say, this doesn't seem so bad. It's not as good as playing on a real console, but
I've heard that the controllers feel pretty nice.
yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I saw somebody on Twitter today making some comment about the controllers feeling cheap, but to me, I think the controller feels really good. Like, I mean, it's the same, ostensibly the same size as a real controller.
Mm-hmm.
The D-pad to me feels just like the D-pad on the original controller. The buttons feel good. I read somewhere somebody complaining that the buttons were clicky. Maybe that was in John Linneman's review. I don't remember. That's the only review I read. I didn't watch any real like footage of this console.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to see for myself, and the only review I read was John Linneman's review.
Yeah, I mean, he has a way of breaking it down in a way that's...
Yeah.
It's funny at the very end of it. He always, you know, at the end of his DF retro videos, he says, you know, stay retro. In this one, he's like, stay retro, just not with this thing.
Oh, that's too bad. But maybe true. I don't know. But yeah, no. So the controller feels good, and from what I read, you can use this controller with your computer.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wonder if the shell can be. No, I mean, I don't know how many people would really even do that, but if you can put like you could with the NES Classic Edition shells, if you could just put a real controller inside of it and use the...
I mean, if you have a junky controller, then it might be cool. I mean, I guess these... I mean, I don't know. I feel like a controller like this, like the real version, would be pretty cheap, so I don't know if it's really worth...
Yeah.
Like, this is probably more expensive than just buying a new real controller, but...
Probably, yeah.
It'd be cool if you could use this controller with a RetroPie, too, I guess.
I mean, I think you probably can.
I mean yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. One more lap to go. So this is, you know, this is just the oval track, so this is not really all that exciting.
Mm-hmm. When are you gonna do like the bowl, where you gotta like...
Well, that's the end, but I think the next track after this is a figure 8, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, so you're building up towards like the total destruction.
Yeah. I lapped almost the entire field, so that's pretty good. Race over. So I didn't get that many race... I mean, I don't know how much you've played this game, but I didn't get any race points, because you get points by, like, crashing out other cars. Like, you try to pull off, like, the pit maneuver on other cars and make them crash, and then you get, like, extra race points. But, alright, so next we can try... yeah, okay, so crossover it's called. This is the figure 8 track. So... we'll do this figure 8 track, and then we'll try a different game, so people don't get too bored with Destruction Derby.
Well, I mean, our chat didn't get too bored with try repeatedly playing the first level over and over again in Gradius 3 the other night. So
I was so mad. I showed up right when I guess he stopped playing Gradius 3.
Yeah.
That game's not easy though. I mean, I had to play that game for my show right about this time last year, and that game will kick your butt for sure. So see, like in this.
Oh wow! So you played it for
what?
For the launch episode?
No. I did the.
Oh, the
I did. So I did the launch episode whenever I did that, and then. Like, I think it was on New Year's Day this year, I released a video called the Super Nintendo in 1991.
Yeah.
And so then I looked at all the post-launch games that came out in 91. And so Gradius 3 was one of those games. And for some reason, I kept saying Gradius. I don't know why I got it in my... Sometimes when I'm doing, like, voiceover or whatever, I just I get something in my head. And for some reason that day, I decided you pronounce the game Gradius instead of Gradius. Because
you think that you've always said it wrong and you want to cut everybody off, and then it turns out that the way that you're saying it was actually right.
But then I have to deal with comments constantly about how I'm saying that.
Well, I mean, I don't think that calling it Gradius is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people say Gradius.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
got a
the one that really
$19.99 donation from Russell Butts.
Oh, thanks,
Says
Russell.
For $20 for real this time.
Oh yeah. So Russell, Russell sent me an email this morning, and Russell, I replied to your email, but then for some reason my iPad didn't want to send it, so I don't know if you ever got it or not, Russell. But I got your email, and yeah. So anyway, thank you for the $20 for real. I really appreciate that.
But saying Gradius, like I've always just said Gradius.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the fact that I have such a non-accent.
But do you care? The thing is, I don't understand people who care. Like if you say Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Gaiden, whatever. Like I don't.
Right.
I got real problems. I don't care how somebody else says. But because what really got people worked up is when I said what was it? It was in the TurboGrafx episode. It was Galaga.
Mm-hmm.
I said, everybody says Galaga, and I always said Galaga, but I did a lot of reading, and I was like, well, I think it's Galaga, and because I'm just trying to be right, like I'm not trying to have the most popular opinion, I'm trying to have the correct one, so I thought like, oh, it's supposed to be Galaga. Although what's funny, I didn't say this to anybody just because I don't really want to like try to argue with people, but I found this interview with somebody that used to work for Williams. And apparently the way you're supposed to say it is Galaga. Because it's Galaxian and then Galaga. And they're like, yeah, when we first released the game, we were saying Galaga, but nobody else was saying it, so we just quit saying it that way. But again, I got so many people...
It makes a lot of sense.
You get people like, oh, I had to stop watching the video because I can't stand the way you say Galaga. And it's like, all right, you still viewed it and left a comment, so, I'm covered. Ooh, okay, see, so I just got knocked out of the race because my whole front end is destroyed. So, yeah.
Early on on our channel, like I had a situation like that where with the first Klonoa game.
Yeah.
Like my entire life, I'd always said, I mean, since it came out.
Yeah.
I said, it's called Door to Phantom Mile. And then when I made it's Klonoa Door to Phantom Mile. Door to Phantomile.
Well, what is it supposed to be?
And then no, that's correct. Oh. And then for some reason that day I shot the script for it, I said Phantomily.
Oh no.
So I was like, maybe I've always been saying it wrong. And then it's like, luckily that was so early in the channel, not a lot of people have really noticed.
Oh, what's funny? I don't know if I ever told this one before. Let's start a new game. So that's enough Destruction Derby. What else? So I picked that one. You pick one.
Why don't you show me some Intelligent Cube if you like it, and you can show me what it's all about.
So when I did, when I
got
made what?
You got a $5 donation from Giant Crazy Spider.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you, Giant Crazy Spider. But so what he said there, that was something else I was going to ask you. So while that's loading up. How do you... Well, you're not going to see it for a few minutes, I guess, or a few seconds, but I want to know how you pronounce the name of this game, and I'm holding up a copy of Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot?
See, so you say Bandicoot, which probably most people... For whatever reason, I just say Bandicoot.
Bandicoot?
Bandicoot. I don't know why. That's just what I say, Bandicoot. People really don't like, I get made fun of a lot on my video. Oh, Bandicoot. I'm like, well, whatever.
You mess around with people's Crash or people's Spyro.
They don't get mad about that. I've never had anybody say like, "Oh, I stopped watching your video."
If you ever cover Spyro, you should call it Spyro the Dragon. See what happens.
I don't want to do that, but so I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but so when I made the launch of the Super Nintendo video, like before that video, my channel wasn't really anything to worry about, And then I made that, like that video, like blew up in a way that I didn't think was going to happen. Really, like it got like 40,000 views in one day. Ever done. And
how many? Like 40,000 in one day.
Yeah, but that's when I had like less than 10,000 subscribers. Like that's a lot of video views in one day.
Because of that sweet thumbnail picture. Everyone who was viewing that video was stealing the thumbnail picture.
Hey, that's fine with me, I guess. I got to remember what buttons I got to push here. Oh, there we go. All right. So I haven't played this game in a while, so Anyway, so I don't know if this happens to you. Like I write a whole script, and then I go, record it, wherever in a closet or what have you, and then as I'm editing the video, sometimes I find stuff where I'm like, okay, I don't, maybe I had a little pop there, or there was like a little noise. You have to do like re-records, right? Or at least I have to do re-records sometimes,
Or if you want to change a line.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because sometimes I have a real problem with not being able to like write the way I speak.
Oh.
And sometimes, you write a script and it turns out that it's difficult to like say that sequence of words together.
Oh yeah. I have a problem with that sometimes for sure. You end up writing tongue twisters for yourself.
Yeah, without even knowing it.
Yeah. So, anyway, for some reason I had to there was this one part of the video where I was showing footage from a CES show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was mentioning the games that got shown off at this CES show. And for some reason, and I've already forgotten my point in telling the story, but I'm not going to stop now, obviously. So, one of the games that it showed was ActRaiser.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I called it ActRaiser, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, like while I was editing that video, like the way I would kind of blow off steam was playing Axelay.
Okay.
And so even though the script says ActRaiser, I called ActRaiser Axelay.
Like every time?
No, well, I only said it the one time. Like I was just listing off. I was showing games for like a half a second on the screen, and I was talking about
Oh, that's right. And you didn't catch it before I went live, right?
Right, but like one of the very first comments somebody left was actually a guy that watched the show. I know from the forums, and he said, "Hey, you just called ActRaiser Axelay." And I watched it, and sure enough, I did. But I was like, "Well, it's no big deal, right? Because like nobody watches my show anyway." Right, because that was like the third launch video I made. Like nobody watched the first two, so I had no reason to think this one was going to be any different. So I was like, screw it, I'm not going to change it. Like I think I might have put like a something in the description or something or whatever, but I never changed it because I thought like nobody was going to care. And like now I can't even tell you like if if I probably went into my little dashboard and searched comments for the word Axelay, I must have had at least 100 people tell me, "Hey, you just called ActRaiser Axelay."
At least it was another Super Nintendo game.
That's true. But it's just like if knowing what I know now, I would have pulled the video down and fixed it real quick and re-uploaded it.
Yeah, but somebody who saw it during that first few minutes, might have been the reason it blew up the way it did.
That's also true. But it seems like every video I make, there has to be a mistake, or it's like not, I mean, it doesn't even really bother me. It's just there's always going to be one somewhere,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No matter how many times you watch it.
I mean, I consider the way I said Galaga, that was kind of a mistake, right? I mean, because the thing is, I always said Galaga as well, like everybody else does. But I just, for some reason, I thought like I don't think that's actually the right way to say it, Or the whole Gradius thing. Like, I don't say Gradius, I say Gradius. And when I was a kid, I said Gradius.
And you probably don't stop calling it that. You just called it that because you thought that was what everyone else would know it as.
I guess. I don't know. All right, so anyway, I'm playing Intelligent Cube here, and we're not even freaking talking about it. So
that's all right. It's all right. I think it's more about the conversation. That's what I always say about our live streams.
Well, this is the first time I've ever...
The game is secondary to the conversation.
I've never gotten to have a conversation on a live stream before, so I'm used to just having to blab about the game. So it's actually kind of nice not having to do that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of pressure off. I would not be able to do it solo. At least it's hard. On our Sunday night deal. Like, maybe on our Twitch I could do it because I don't feel the need to perform or do anything on there.
Yeah.
But,
so that was all.
But yeah, I mean, I see that the JL Draw is saying don't stress over the mistakes, focus on the comprehensive whole, and that's absolutely true. And the other thing about making videos is done is better than perfect. That's the thing I always think about. It's better to just get the video done and out.
Yeah.
And if there's like tiny little mistakes, because you're never going to make something that is completely perfect anyways. And
see, I always thought more about like the Miyamoto line where he said like a late game is only late till it comes out, but a bad game's bad forever.
Yeah, but Miyamoto wasn't releasing a game every week or whatever. Trying to release a game, you know, he could fall back on that because, you know, even so, it's easy for someone who works at Nintendo or somebody like Miyamoto to say that.
That's true.
Because,
although, I mean, how often do I upload to my channel anyway? But hey, so somebody in the chat wants me to mention the gray blocks. Well, they're actually black, but well, they're grayscale, I guess. But yeah, if you destroy those black blocks, every one you destroy knocks a row off of the very end of this platform, and so then you have that much less time to get rid of the rest of these things.
Have you beaten this game?
No.
I wonder how many levels it has.
I think like a lot. Somebody earlier, by the way, mentioned I saw it.
Like you.
I was going to say that the PSP game was called IQ Mania.
Okay. How often do you feel like you actually beat games?
Oh, very rarely. I mean, I don't get to play. I mean, I'm not saying this because I want sympathy from anybody, but I don't hardly ever get to play games for fun anymore. So, I mean, I don't.
It's true. I mean, sometimes I've made it kind of a point to play certain games that I'm not going to record or do anything with. Just to let you know, my heater just came on, so you might hear a little blowing for a little bit.
Well, I'm down here with the furnace, so the same thing might happen. But I mean, I shouldn't say that the way I said it because it makes it seem like when I have to record gameplay footage for the show, like I'm having fun. It's not like I'm not having fun, but I'm saying like.
And you even said the other day you're having fun with games that you would probably not normally have fun.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean, there are games that I otherwise wouldn't get to play. Like I like, you know, some of these forgotten games. It's fun to get to play those. So
yeah.
So I definitely have fun playing those games. But I'm saying like I can't just go to the shelf and just say like, you know what, I've never beaten Phantasy Star 4. So I'm going to spend the next month of my life playing that because I don't have time for that.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand that. And I you know, it.
Oop, all right,
I used to feel that way. Like I used to barely ever finish games.
Yeah. And
then, you know, like about 11 years ago, I joined the website, the Backloggery.
Yeah, the Backloggery,
which is. You're familiar or no?
Well, only because isn't that Try's website?
Yeah, I mean he was like the co-founder of it. Yeah, I mean that's how we met.
Right.
But it's it's a game tracking site that really is all about playing and finishing the games that you have.
Yeah.
And that's something it totally changed the way that I viewed like this kind of overwhelming sense of all these games that I haven't had a chance to play.
Yeah.
Kind of like, okay, so when I choose to play a game, I'm going to commit to that till it's done.
Yeah.
And it has done wonders for the way that I played games. At least it did, and not as much now because I just don't have time. Like I have to play stuff to continue to make the show.
Right.
But we still, both of us. I mean, he had a huge backlog, and he used the site and beat his backlog. Beat every game that he owned.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, now he has like 200 unbeaten games.
Yeah, I'm sure I have at least that.
But I mean, that's just like part of trying to make content on YouTube. There's no way to like get in front of that.
Yeah.
Because I find myself just buying stuff because it's kind of like, oh, I might need this for this idea that I have, or this might be something that's kind of interesting to show.
Yeah.
You're much more lax in what you purchase.
Yeah. So somebody, I don't want to change the subject. We can come back to this.
That's fine.
Somebody just mentioned in the chat the whole zero thing, because that's another one that I get all the time, is the way I say F-Zero. Because I say zero instead of zero. To me, that's a very subtle difference, but I get that one all the time. In fact, someone the other day left a comment basically saying I was like a weeaboo, which I'm probably saying that word wrong too. Because they're like, oh, this guy's trying to like say zero like he's Japanese, and I'm like, what? Oh, here, I just got run over. So that's what happens when you get run over. So all the blocks fell off, and then any of those blocks that were black takes a whole row off of the end of the platform. So that's not
did you
cool.
die?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, pick a different game.
Yeah. Good. I kind of
So,
want to see
for
a
all the
game
games
that
you play,
like
you should play until you lose one life, or if it's a game where it's easy to lose lives, play
all
until
right.
you have to use the continue. You got a $5
Another
donation
one from
from
Tommy.
Tommy.
Thank you,
Says
Tommy.
would be cool to pick a game you always wanted to beat and stream it. What are some games, if any, that come to mind?
Wow. See,
Like, what are some games that you own that you
yeah.
wish that you could beat?
I mean,
And
aside
you know
from
what? You should pick one and commit to it.
Yeah.
Like, just play, a
well,
couple hours on the weekend.
You mean like do like
maybe pick,
multiple streams of the same game?
Yeah.
People
why not?
would watch that, you think?
Totally.
I was going to do that with Buck Rogers, and then I just didn't.
That's kind of what we made for our Twitch channel about, where it's kind of more of a casual thing where we can play, like what we want to do, like lunchtime streams where we play for a couple hours and we play through a game,
Wow.
over the course of several streams.
Yeah.
Like Try played through Bomberman Hero on the N64 a couple of weeks ago.
Wow. But I only stream like once a week, so I mean, I just have the stream. So I feel like
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how we are. It's just like it would just be something you were doing for fun.
But if I stream so you're saying separate from that stream?
Yeah. Like it would be. It's not like part of. I wouldn't call it like CGQ Live episode 14.
Right. No. Yeah.
You could call it like bonus stream or like
and then
playing,
maybe not upload that
CGQ.
stream, or you don't. Are your streams available anywhere as an archive?
Oh yeah.
I know you have the audio, but
right, we list them on all of them are unlisted, but they're in a public playlist on the front page.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. You can have an unlisted video, but still have a playlist.
Yeah, a playlist of just unlisted video.
And then
it's like right on the front
channel or on the front page of your website?
Of the channel.
Oh, you're blowing my mind right now. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, we have like 170 streams or something.
Wow, that's cool.
And that's like their minimum 2 hours.
Wow, that's nuts. Anyway,
you got it.
Thanks again to Tommy for the contribution. And I see Duckfield. Thank you also. Isn't that Duckfield second too? Or am I getting confused? Either way, thank you, Duckfield.
Yeah, he's saying people are effing idiots. Don't care what people think or say.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say that, but it doesn't mean I don't agree with it. So, all right, what's a game that this system is known for? The PlayStation Classic. It's supposed to be crappy, like Tekken 3 or what? Like so far I was okay with both
Tekken
of
3
these
does not run good. You should just do it to see if you notice if anything's off.
Well, I haven't played much Tekken 3, so I'm not going to notice. But maybe people on the stream will notice, so I'll do it for them. But I'm not going to notice.
Oh, Google bought me. Said, "Hey Coury, I never knew that they were available.
See?
Thought you deleted them."
I didn't know either.
If you go to the front page, there's a playlist that's called live stream archive, and it has everything in there.
Well, see, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing now, as far as like I'm going to make these streams like part of CGQ Plus. But if I did what you're talking about, where there was like even more streams, then maybe I would do something like that, where they were unlisted but still available for people.
Trappist Gamer donated $2 and asks,
"Thanks, that's Mike. That's Mike,
FF7?
by the way, Trappist Gamer." I don't think we'll play. I mean, I don't know. Would it be worthwhile to just watch the beginning cutscene of Final Fantasy VII just to see how?
Oh, you should definitely play through at least. You remember the demo for it? Did you play the demo that came with Tobal #1, and then it was also included with the PlayStation Underground disc?
Yeah, I have.
I still have my
now,
PlayStation
yeah.
Underground.
How far did you get in the demo though? I forgot. Where
it goes until you blow up the reactor. So it's just the intro.
Well, you think I should do all of that? I will.
Yeah,
I'm happy.
totally.
I'm happy to. I just.
It's not hard. It's like I don't think you can even die.
No, I'm not saying it's hard. I don't know if people want to see that much Final Fantasy VII. I would love to do it just for the walk down memory lane.
Yeah, I love that intro. When it zooms out of the city, like that is mind blowing because that was such an intense FMV, and you know, you'd never like I guess Namco was pretty well known for having some amazing FMVs. Like these are great FMVs.
Yeah. All right, we'll play that next then. I'll do it.
Got a $5 Australian
Oh.
donation from Mr. Lurch.
Yeah, I think didn't you send me some Tim Tams, Mr. Lurch, or am I getting you confused with somebody else? You ever had Tim Tams, Corey?
I've not.
Oh my
It sounds
goodness.
familiar though. But
You
I've
should.
never eaten it.
Ever since, so I had 2 different people from Australia send me Tim Tams. But since then, somebody else has told me that apparently you can get Tim Tams here. Like, do you have a World Market? You know, Cost Plus World Market. Does that exist in Cincinnati there?
Not that I've been to. I'm
Right,
sure
well,
there was
maybe
one
you
in
can
New
try
York,
to
but
find some somewhere. But Tim Tams are delicious. I don't know why they're not available everywhere here.
Oh, you gotta play as Law.
Yeah, I just looks like Bruce Lee, so you know, like
Yeah.
Bithead says, lean in me.
I always like to play as Hwarang.
I don't know
And
which
I like
one's that.
Hwarang and Jin.
Oh, someone says Target sells Tim Tams. Now, certainly you must have a Target.
There is a Target right up the road. I was just there before I got on stream with you.
Oh, well, there you go. Well,
I
look
always
for
like
Tim
to go
Tams.
and check out
They're
that clearance
good.
section.
And look up how to make a Tim Tam straw.
A Tim Tam straw?
Yeah, I was not, just for Mr. Lurch and anybody else watching that wants to know, I was not successful in making a Tim Tam straw. But I tried.
You got a $1.99 donation from Derek Foster, who says, Here's some dough.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that. Oh, if I mentioned, I bought, well, maybe people, you know, I always tell people that, you know, whatever donations I get or whatever money the show makes from ad revenue, like that all gets like, you know, I use it to buy stuff for the show. You know, it's not like I'm putting gas in my gas tank with it. So I know I said this on Twitter, but, you know, sometimes I run under the false assumption that like anybody that watches the show follows the show on Twitter, even though a lot of people don't have Twitter because they don't want to, which is completely understandable. So for those of you who don't follow the show on Twitter, and I don't know if I told you this already or not, Corey, but I finally ordered an analog Super NT.
Oh, yeah.
So now I can use that to do some Super Nintendo live streams. And like I think the first one I'm going to do, which I mean my live streams are booked until January, but you know, as you know, the Super NT comes with Super Turrican and Super Turrican 2 built in.
Yeah.
And so I want to do a live stream where I'm going to play the 2 Super Turrican games. And maybe whatever else. But, you know, like I have my cool little streaming setup, right, where it goes into the PVM and comes out of the PVM. And, like, that's cool and everything, but I can't do that with HDMI systems like this or with, you know, anything modern. And so then I have to have a separate setup for that. So I was thinking about just sort of keeping this setup the way it is, except making it a little bit nicer, I guess. But so then having a HDMI system like the Super NT would be cool. And of course, as you do, I have the Mega. Is it the Mega NT? Is that what it's called?
The Mega SG.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you. The Mega SG. I have that on pre-order or whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. I think you mentioned in one of your Patreon videos that you actually ordered a Model 2 Sega CD so that you can hook it up to that thing?
Yeah, because I think it's when we eventually cover it, it's important for us to show that it working with that. And, you know, I keep my...
You're going to review it, you're saying?
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely do a video on it. I mean, we hope to talk to Keptris again. Keptris only, like, lives, like an hour and a half away from me. So it's very easy to go and talk with him about it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
like,
not going to review anything. I just
Todd's Nerd Cave is in the chat, and I'm sure he can attest that, you know, this...
That guy's kind of a rabble-rouser, Todd.
But
I'm kidding, he's not.
This surrounding area, like around Cincinnati, like there's a surprising amount of like retro game enthusiasts, like modding people. Like Game Tech US is pretty close to here. You know, there's a surprising amount of people. You know, like, you know, we did the video for we did the Night Trap documentary, and it turned out the guy who made the remaster of Night Trap lived 2 minutes away from me.
Wow. That's
It's
pretty
just
cool.
like a random thing.
Yeah. Hey, somebody in the chat doesn't know who you are, so maybe you just got a new subscriber there.
That's all
That's
right,
why
man.
I put... See, it's funny, at first I wasn't, I didn't even think that I was going to... I didn't even think to put a link to your channel in my description, because I just figured, well, who doesn't know who you are? But then I put a link in there, because I figure you never know.
I don't.
Does this game have special moves? I mean, I'm just kind of button mashing over here.
It doesn't have like your typical, quarter circle fireball
Yeah.
type stuff. It's all,
So,
physical moves.
I see.
Like,
So, I know you're watching this on the stream, right? So I don't know how it's going to look just because of that. But, I mean, for anybody in the chat, too, like, does this game look like... Because to me it seems fine, but I didn't play the game originally, so I don't... I'm still kind of not seeing what the big deal is with this system, I guess. I don't know.
with the problems with it?
I mean, the video's a little bit blurry, but it's 720p on a 1080p monitor, so that could be part of it. But however blurry it might be, it's still a lot clearer than back in the day when I was playing it over composite video.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not really crying about that. That's for sure.
I heard the Ridge Racer Type 4 has some serious sound issues.
Oh. Oh my
We should play that next.
Look at this guy with this guy looks like. You ever watch Kid and Play? Remember Kid and Play?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know
what is it, House Party?
Yeah.
House Party.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know which one's Kid and which one's Play though. I don't know who has.
I don't know.
I don't know who has the big flat top, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ooh, there you go. Special move right there.
That's how that's called showing our age right there.
Oh, the Kid and Play thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why people watch my show, though. I'm reminiscing about the good old days.
Yep.
I, just to torture people out there, I actually finished the next episode of Flashback like 2 days ago, but I haven't uploaded it yet because I didn't want it to compete with the Dreamcast video, and then I didn't want it to compete with this live stream. So maybe I'll upload it tomorrow.
Can you spoil the subject?
Oh, sure. So so the last episode, so I was doing all those episodes in kind of like chronological order of my life, and then I kind of got off track with the last episode of Flashback because I just wanted to talk about Radio Shack.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, like, for me, Radio Shack and the Atari Lynx are like intrinsically linked for no pun intended for reasons that I discussed in the video. And so I decided it would be a good time to talk about the Atari Lynx. But I spent, the video is about an hour long, and I think I probably spent the first half an hour just telling more stories about Radio Shack, and then the second half talking about the Atari Lynx and just going through my whole collection of Lynx games. But I didn't show any gameplay footage, so I just talked about them.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the definitive list of the top.
Oh my god,
7.
It's the definitive list.
Well, that's just like your opinion, and
Yeah.
no, it's the definitive list.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't. I just like talked about all the game. I didn't like try to rank them or anything or.
So you were an Atari Lynx owner then back in the day.
Well, I don't want to spoil the video too much, but I got my Lynx in '95. I bought it off of a coworker, so I didn't have a Lynx back. Like, you can still buy Lynx games in '95, but like maybe out of a catalog or something, or I don't think you could probably walk into Toys R Us at that point and get Lynx games anymore. So
I had a Lynx.
yeah, when did you get your Lynx?
I got it on my birthday. I got the same day as I got Out of This World on the Super Nintendo. So it was, I don't know, would that be like 91 maybe? No. It'd have to be like 92 probably.
Oh wow.
Well, let me see. Let me just check to see when Out of This World came out.
So I got Game Over, so it's time to
Yep.
load up something else. But I don't know. Like I said, I didn't think that seemed so bad, but I don't really have a frame of reference because I haven't played Tekken 3 really. So I'm going to get Final Fantasy VII rocking while you're looking up your Lynx information there. But, you mentioned... what did I do? Oh, yeah, I know. You mentioned Out of This World. Around that time I was really into PC gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, we used to like, between my best friend and I don't think we ever paid for a single PC game. It was just, I don't know how those poor people made any money. And I remember we got Out of This World, which I think was called, because it's called Another World in certain regions.
Right. I mean, that's the real name for it.
Okay, well, when we got it, it was called Another World. And I mean, you remember the cutscene that starts off the game,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like that guy like pulls up in his Ferrari or Porsche or whatever it was, and like
It's his future car.
because we didn't really like the game that much because we thought it was too hard and couldn't really figure it out. We would just watch the cutscene like over and over and over. Like I don't normally do that. Like Bithead talks about like when he first got Gate of Thunder and he watched the cutscene like 20 times. Like I haven't done that.
I watch it one time and then start the game.
But I think that might be the first time we ever like saw a cutscene like that in a game on the PC.
Yeah.
And so we watched that like multiple times.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you didn't like it that much because it's a rotoscope game.
Well, we just died a lot. It's like everything in the game is trying to kill you. Like from
I mean,
leeches
it's
to
very trial and error.
wildebeests
Sure.
and
It's very trial and error, but if you know what you're doing, it's like less than an hour.
So I'm not going to skip the FMV here. We're going to say
no, don't.
Yeah, I'm even putting the controller down just so I don't accidentally press anything.
The way the music builds up, it's a great opening. I remember seeing screenshots for this in Game Fan magazine.
See, I really went into this game totally blind.
That's cool. I mean, that's lucky.
I had only bought one. Like the first video game magazine I think I ever bought was a PlayStation. It was PS Extreme. And I bought that when I got my PlayStation. And should I turn up the volume a little bit?
If you want.
I mean, if not now, when? This is important.
Yeah.
So I literally, like I said earlier, I really bought this game because my friend convinced me to. Oh, you got to get this game. I was like, yeah, fine, I'll get it. And like when certainly there must be movies, like great movies that you've seen in your life where you went into it completely blind. Like,
yeah.
Like for me, the two I can think of, like Shawshank Redemption. Like I didn't know anything about Shawshank. Someone just said this is a good movie, watch it. And I watched it. Yeah, I loved it. And The Sixth Sense, of all things.
Oh yeah, that's a good one to go into. Especially, that's people going into it completely blind is why it was a success. Probably.
Now it's good. Yeah, and you always get people who have to say that they knew all along that Bruce Willis was dead. I didn't. It caught me completely by surprise. Made the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think off the top of my head movies that I went to completely blind. The one I can really think of, and this is probably going to cause some eye rolls, but I was the right age. It was the right age at the right time in my life, and I went in and I saw the movie Garden State.
I've never seen Garden State, so
where I knew nothing about it. I didn't know anything about it. I just had a friend say, I saw this movie. It's pretty good. You should see it if you get a chance. And then I just moved to New York City. I just gone through like a bad breakup. I just like lost a bunch of weight, and I was in a totally different place in my life. Like everything had changed in the last year.
Yeah.
And I went and saw that movie randomly one day when I was hanging out in Union Square, and it was like a profound experience.
That's pretty
for
awesome.
me at 25.
Yeah. That's
and there's cool. A lot of people that say, we'll call that movie horrible now, but at the time it really just it spoke to me in a way that
that's pretty cool. So the one thing I'll say I kind of noticed, I don't know if I played actual Final Fantasy VII on original hardware. I don't know what frame rate it runs at, but this feels like it's not running at the right frame rate. But
yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't really.
PAL.
I feel like it wouldn't really bother me that much. But I'm just saying, like things just don't seem quite as smooth as they should be. Sounds good though, in my opinion.
Yeah, the music is great, and I remember kind of being disappointed when this first came out. About I expected at least, that you're gonna, if your game is on a CD, it was gonna have like Redbook audio music.
Yeah.
And I remember like, oh, it's just more MIDI. Like it doesn't like I didn't at first I didn't feel that it was as good as the Super Nintendo soundtracks.
Hey, well, I don't know. I mean, I really love the soundtrack to this game, so I don't, but they're all really good. I'm not going to change the names. I don't want to waste everybody's time. But when you played these games, did you used to stick with the stock names, or did you change them?
Yeah, I am a. I will always call the character what their what their name is.
See,
unless you have a unless you're forced to use a name, and I will always use my name if I'm forced to use an original name.
Okay. So I won't do it now because it's like what for, but the first time I played this game, so I know there's at least one person in the chat who's a Detroit Red Wings fan. So I used to name when I played this game, I named all of the characters after hockey players, mostly Red Wings players, with the exception of but then it causes problems because sometimes I don't know the character's real name because to me it's whatever, that I named it. So who's the big cat with the megaphone?
Kate Sith.
Exactly. So I always named her Dion, but not like Dion Sanders, like the female name, like Dionne Warwick.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you remember that around the time this game came out, there was the Dionne Warwick Psychic Friends Network.
The Psychic Friends Network. Yeah, I mean, I remember like the 900 number you could call.
Right. Yeah. So I named her after that because like she's sort of like, I don't know if psychic's the right word for what Kate Sith is, but that's why I named. But everybody else was hockey players.
Growing up, did you ever watch? I don't know if it was on there or not, but did you ever watch USA Up All Night on the USA Network?
Oh well, I didn't. When would this have been?
This is like definitely like early 90s.
Oh, I didn't have cable in the early 90s.
Okay, because it was like I was just talking to somebody about it recently. About USA Up All Night, and it was what it was on Saturday nights. It would be like 11 to like 2.
Yeah.
They showed 2 movies, and it was always like really bad B movies. They were edited for TV.
Yeah.
And it was hosted by like Gilbert Gottfried. But I was just talking about it, yeah. Gilbert Gottfried or Rhonda Shear. Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching all that stuff. You'd always see like these edited for TV versions of like Porky's and stuff like that, like those kind of movies.
I had a friend who had cable, but if I was gonna go when I was at his house, if we were gonna be watching movies at midnight or something, we were watching Skinamax.
Oh yeah, I mean this was. If you didn't have Skinamax, like this is like the closest thing you could get to watching, like besides like watching scrambled cable.
Oh, we used to do that too.
Oh man.
I never had a reason to bring that up on the show, but for a while when I lived with my dad, we had cable, and I remember like back then they'd have like the free HBO weekends. Mm-hmm. And so then like Sunday night before you went to bed, you'd always remember to like unplug your cable box so they couldn't send you the little signal to re-scramble HBO, and it would like buy you a couple extra days before they'd send
I didn't know that.
So so they would just send some kind of signal down the line to like unlock like HBO and whatever, and so for the whole weekend you'd get it, and then like on Sunday night they'd send a second signal to re-scramble it. And so if you unplug the coax cable from the back of your box, then it wasn't plugged in to get the signal, But then you'd get they'd send a second one on like Tuesday, so it would earn you a couple extra days. Although the other thing you could do, I forgot what you called it. This guy's yakking. It is kind of complicated, but you could put like a T connection on your coax cable, and then on the other side of the T, like, the extra piece that you had, if you put just the right length of coax cable running down it and then capped it off, it had to be like a multiple of the wavelength or whatever that they would send out to like kill the HBO on your box, and it would trap that signal because it was like destructive interference or whatever. So I guess it wasn't exactly a multiple. It was like a 1.5 multiple.
Yeah.
You were basically making like a filter.
That's that's like a lot more complicated.
Yeah,
I
I never
remember
did that. I
the,
heard
the
about
cable
that
box you
later.
had is just a dial, and there was a model of it that we had that all you had to do was stick a piece of piece of cardboard in the top of it,
Of
and
what
it would
now?
give you everything
Of your cable
of,
box?
of your like little cable boxes. Just one that had like a
Wow.
single dial on it, so it was like
Oh, I
I don't
never
know how
had
many
one with
channels.
a dial on. Can I go through
But
here?
yeah, you just stick the card in the top of it, and it would somehow give you all the channels.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think we used like a report card to put in there.
Wow. So
But yeah, it's
somebody in the chat's talking about the Spice Channel, just like you were just talking about scrambled porn. So
Spice.
yeah. So this is probably not a story I'm ever going to tell on my show, but it's just kind of a funny little tidbit. But when I
We got happy console gamers in here.
oh really?
I was just talking to him earlier today.
What's up, Johnny? Well, now I feel bad telling the story, but my parents used to like sometimes they would have to leave town together for work, because they work together, so they go on these business trips, and I'd be home alone like for a week with a babysitter that would just stay with us, And I just remember one time I was home, maybe it was like summer, and I was like bored, and I knew we had this like box full of videotapes out in the garage. And I was just looking for a movie to watch, and like there was this movie called like The Adventures of like somebody or other, and I was like, oh, that sounds like cool. That's like an adventure movie, and like I brought it in the house and put it in and it was a Betamax tape because we had a Betamax player, and I brought it inside and put it in the machine, and it was like a hardcore porno. It was a John Holmes movie too.
That's I never had that experience of like having the dad's porno. I mean, because my parents were divorced before I was like even one.
Yeah.
But
oh wow. Well, this was this was my dad and my stepmom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I don't think they ever found out because I put it back, and of course I'm not going to say when they came back. I wasn't like, hey, guess what I found out in the garage,
Oh, you got a $24.99 donation from Insurrection Industries.
Oh, thanks, Insurrection.
It says, you are saving me money now that I don't have to get one.
Oh, well, there you go. That works. Well, thank you very much, man. I think that's probably the biggest donation I ever got. So that's awesome, man. Thank you.
And we're talking about our parents' pornos. I mean, we had a friend that his dad had one. I mean, back then it was like it wasn't as easily obtainable.
No.
So when you think about it now, when you would get these pornos and you'd like watch them with your friends.
Yeah.
It's like that's
Did you ever like
not something that would happen now? I don't think.
Did you ever? There was this one. I don't know why I was with like a friend of mine, and we were at like the city park. And we found like this beat up old porno mag like underneath a tree. Like I think it was like somebody kept it there. Like that was his physical spank bank. Was he just like kept it under this tree whenever he needed it, he'd like go revisit the tree or something.
That's the place he knows where he's not going to get interrupted, I guess.
I guess. I forgot where I was supposed to go.
Clay3613 says that he found his parents' porn too. It was a Roman theme.
Was it Caligula? Because that was like, where am I supposed to go? I forgot. Oh no, there's a door over here. Huh? Never mind. Sorry, I haven't played this one in a while. Yeah, Caligula was this movie that was like, I think Penthouse made it, but it was like a weird movie because it's like a 3-hour-long movie because it's actually like a biopic about Emperor Caligula, but then it has like 3 scenes in it that are like hardcore porno. So like I don't know who's watching that movie because like if you're a history buff, maybe you're not going to watch it because it's porn. But if you just want porn, it's like porno scene and then like an hour and then like another porno scene. So like I don't. But that's the kind of movie that you could have, and then if somebody said like, "Oh, you have this," you're like, "Yeah, it's historically significant," You had like plausible deniability.
It's art.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, assuming that's the movie he's thinking about, That's got that Malcolm McDowell guy as the main character. You know, he's the from like Clockwork Orange and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like he plays Caligula.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're still pretty young.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean that movie's from like the 70s or something.
Okay. I guess Helen Mirren is in it too. Interesting. I always like when, when Bithead talks about it, he calls it Pano. It took me a few minutes to like realize what he was talking about.
I don't understand, because sometimes he says that and sometimes he just says porn. Like I don't understand sometimes the way that guy talks, but I mean I don't care. I love that guy's stories. So
yeah. Scoot Diggity, who I believe was in our stream the other night.
BRB downloading Caligula. I mean, it's an interesting movie, honestly. And there's actually, so just to my point, they actually released a version of the movie with all of the porno scenes taken out. Just because even without those, it's really not a bad movie, just as
for award season,
as a biopic or whatever,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, obviously, I wasn't really around in the '70s to know the difference, but I guess for a while, like, porno movies were kind of like mainstream. Like it was like for a little while it was like socially acceptable to watch porno movies, and they would have them at like the movie theater. So maybe that was part of that. I don't really know. How do we get started talking about porn of all things? Oh, because of the Spice Channel.
Yeah, I got the Spice Channel. And watching Scrambled Cable.
Yeah.
Kids don't know how good they have it.
I don't know. I guess I wouldn't trade.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Like watching like a super
snowy
snowy picture and like, well, you had cable, I guess. You were spoiled, but for me, like I was always adjusting the rabbit ears on top of the TV to try to get a clear picture so I could watch the football game or something like that. Watching Saturday morning cartoons on a black and white television.
Mm-hmm. I was talking to Johnny about that earlier today about saying that I feel very lucky that I lived like around like 16 years of my life without the internet.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like half my life with the internet and half life without it. And we're the only generation that'll have that.
It's true, yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, you got a $49.99 donation.
Thanks,
that
Derek.
That donation was the biggest you ever had until now.
Wow. That's
from
amazing,
Derek Foster.
man.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I feel like I need to do something now.
Yeah, now you can you've paid off your PlayStation Classic basically from donations tonight.
That's true. Somebody. Thank you again, Derek. By the way, that's extremely generous. I don't really know what to say, but somebody. I don't know why I'm saving my game. It's force of habit, I guess. But somebody today on Twitter was saying that if I don't want this thing, I should do a giveaway, and I was like, no, I kind of want my $100 back, but. Now that we've gotten all these donations, like maybe I should do a giveaway or something. I feel like that's not a good giveaway because it's like giving somebody a lump of coal. But
well, I don't know.
I'm still not unhappy with it. I'm just being honest. And again, like I paid for this with my own money. This is not a sponsored stream. I'm still waiting to hate it.
I mean, like I think that there's probably some problems with it.
Oh, for sure.
Based on like the stuff I've seen, but. For a lot of people, they're not going to care. And it's definitely not as good as the Nintendo ones.
Oh, for sure not.
I think that, like, one of the issues, though, is just, like, what it could possibly have been. It could have been so much better. Oh, you got a $1.99 donation from EZO54098.
Wow. Well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unless I hope he wasn't trying to give me a $50 donation. That happened last time on the stream. But thank you anyway, yeah. Everybody wants me to plug the keyboard into it and hit escape. I don't know. I'm really worried I'm going to unplug the wrong thing on the back of my computer. I mean, other people are already doing that, so I don't... like if you want to see someone do that, there's already videos up on YouTube of that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Wait till they figure out how to hack it. I mean, that's a reason to hang on to it, because it's going to get hacked probably quickly.
Yeah.
You should... Black Rhythm 99 is saying to play Rainbow Six. So play Rainbow Six next.
But that's the thing. Rainbow Six is not a game that I would really want to play anyway. So I mean, I can play it. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying.
I think.
Like,
I mean,
if the worst thing
maybe it's one
about
of the
this
few
thing
games
is that Rainbow Six sucks, then I'm okay with that.
Nicholas Fugate. I
think it's Fugate. I actually know somebody with the last name of Fugate, so that's the only reason I think that's how he pronounces his name. But
he was saying that you should do a giveaway of the PS Classic, but sign the top of it.
See, I don't know how you feel about that. I don't like signing stuff like that because, like, I didn't make this. You know, like if you were at a convention and somebody came up to you with this copy of Crash Bandicoot, would you sign that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll if they felt compelled that they wanted me to sign something like that.
I just don't know how I feel about that. Like if you want me to
lower the value of your item,
Megadeth album, he's not going to sign.
I will do that for you.
I didn't hear what you said. Sorry, I talked over.
I said if you want me to lower the value of your item, I will do that.
Well, yeah. I just figure if somebody wants something signed, I send people postcards. You know, I sign those.
It'd be a good memory of this stream. Sane Rub is saying to sign their Tim Tam.
Sign what? Oh, sign my
Tim Tam. Tim Tam, baby.
Is that like a euphemism or?
I don't know. You know, it's funny. Makes me think of. So, my son, he's 3.
Yeah.
And he has.
Ooh, Cloud's dead. Sorry, go ahead.
He's big into trains right now, and he has one train. I don't know where he out of nowhere he just started calling it by the name Ding Dong.
He calls his train Ding Dong.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just really funny one day. He couldn't find it, and he was running around. Can't find my Ding Dong.
Oh boy.
Which is something like I will tease him about it like when he's older, but it was very funny at the time.
Yeah.
Funny enough for me to joke about it now.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny you say that because I don't know why this morning. You ever see that Simpsons episode where I don't know what Chief Wiggum's kid is named. I forgot his name, but he was singing that song about My Ding-a-ling, and he got in trouble because he was saying.
I've only seen a handful of Simpsons. I've never been like a big fan.
Wow.
That's
like the controversial statement of the stream time, I think.
I didn't watch a lot of TV, I guess.
Oh well, that's respectable, I guess.
I mean, there's some stuff that I watch.
But Michael Off Grid is very upset that I'm not paying attention while I'm playing this game.
They're not what?
I'm not paying close enough attention. I'm attacking this guy while his tail is down and then getting roasted. So, and he's right, but I'm trying to talk to you too. So,
but I mean, I can't say that there's most Simpsons stuff. I can't tell you very much about it.
Well, that's fine.
I probably played more of the Simpsons arcade game than I have actually watching the show.
That's a good game though.
It is. It is. I have it on my PS3, even though it's been delisted.
All right, I think we're dead right now. Yep. All right, game over. So, sorry, I wasn't really trying to show my Final Fantasy VII prowess, obviously, but I mean that's far enough anyway, right? I mean,
yeah.
And then I saw someone requested that I play Super Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah, go for it. See if you can beat it.
That one. Check that one out. I mean, for anybody else that doesn't know, like that boss, you're only supposed to attack him when his tail's sticking up in the air, not when it's down. And so that's why he kept doing that whole laser thing. But So after the first time I ever played this game in the arcade, so I played this, I came and visited the university that I ended up attending. And that was the first time I ever played this game, because while I was there visiting, I went down into the arcade, and this cabinet was already there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went back home, because I lived about 3 hours away from the school that I went to, so when I went home, I like went to all the video, because I knew this game had come out for the PlayStation, and so like I went out to all the video game stores until I found a copy, just because I wanted to be able to play it 2-player with my then girlfriend, who's now my wife. So.
Mm-hmm. It's a good game. It has good soundtrack to it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of this interesting era of Capcom games. I mean, Capcom put out a lot of really good 32-bit games.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, did you buy a lot of the Capcom releases on the PlayStation? Because I only asked because I remember that they had that, they had that deal where you could save all the UPC symbols from all your Capcom fighting games, and you could send them in. And I don't know what you got, if you got a free game or what.
Oh, I don't know. I know I don't. I have Strider 2.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of looking at my list here. Is it Buster Brothers collection? I think that's Capcom. That's fairly recent that I got that. I mean, of course, Street Fighter Alpha 2 was good. Street Fighter Alpha 2 is my favorite of the Alpha games.
Well, Smoke Monster says he has this arcade PCB. So, kind of a little postscript to the story about me beating this game. So, at some point, the arcade on campus decided to get rid of all of their arcade games. Mm-hmm. And they auctioned them off. And I wanted to buy the Super Puzzle Fighter arcade cab, just because that was literally the cab. That was the only arcade game I ever once CC'd, and I thought it'd be cool to have it. But it was one of those big dynamo cabs. And those are like pretty humongous. This was before I had my arcade cabinet back here, because now
is that like you sit in it or something like that?
No. It's just a really big honking cabinet.
Mm.
Like it's got a larger monitor in it. I don't remember what size, but it's got a big monitor in it, and it just just the footprint of the thing is pretty big. And I didn't have my arcade cabinet yet, the one that's right there. Because otherwise, if I'd had the arcade cabinet already, I would have bought the thing and just bought it for the arcade board and got rid of the cabinet, But I didn't have it yet, so I didn't. So I don't know whatever happened. I mean, somebody bought all those arcade machines. I don't know where they ended up. Like if somebody opened an arcade somewhere here in the Sacramento area or something. But
I wonder if it's surprising that they never made a sequel to this.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know if they would add, but Capcom was always known for being pretty sequel happy, and it's kind of amazing that they never made a sequel to this.
Well, they still could,
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would buy it.
And I'm so out of practice in this game. Like I used to be able to just as fast as I could drop all these things. Just getting old,
Street Fighter Alpha 2 is awesome. It's definitely my favorite. Definitely my favorite Street Fighter game outside of Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter Alpha 2?
Yeah. That game has a really good soundtrack. Love the Sakura's theme in that. They had like Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold edition that had Cammy in it.
Oh man, here we go. That didn't help that much. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, look at that. I was on the ropes the whole time.
Oh, you took him down?
Yeah. Maybe do a Marvel versus Capcom version? That'd be cool, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Capcom should hire that guy. Eric's.
Oh, I'm seeing it now.
What?
Wow.
What?
Yeah, you just getting the win.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forget you're behind over there. Which, my fault, not yours. So, because you can set the stream right so it's got less lag, right? Like when you're setting it up on YouTube.
Yeah, you can.
But I don't know. I just feel like with my crappy internet connection, that's probably a bad idea.
So did your Monster Boy show up yet? That you ordered?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
got
order
it
Boy?
this morning. I was surprised.
Mine hasn't shown up my physical copy. It is,
Well, you know what I haven't gotten, since we're gonna start now. If you want to start crying about that stuff, because I saw that you posted on Twitter or Instagram that you got your flip grip.
Yeah, it showed up yesterday.
I haven't gotten mine yet. All right,
You-
here we go.
probably-
Look at this right here.
no.
Boom. Ouch.
It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. I kind of want to try out the Namco arcade
Yeah.
collection on there because I guess there's a lot of vertical games on there.
Well, SNK has the SNK Classics collection has a lot. Too.
Oh yeah.
I saw it because in your picture you were playing Ikaruga, right?
Hmm?
Is there a way to buy that digitally, or do you have that?
No, it's only available digitally right now.
I thought there was like a compilation. I thought there was like a treasure compilation you could buy.
I wish.
All right, never mind. I'm confused. Well, I'm gonna buy that then. Is that enough? I feel like that's enough Super Puzzle Fighter. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean we've had our fill.
Yeah. I don't want to bore people. I saw somebody was complaining about a puzzle game. Hey, do you want to set some people on fire?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
I don't remember the controls of this game, so that's going to take me a minute.
Monster Boy is excellent though.
Yeah.
Voltron and I felt very compelled to 100% the entire game, and we did.
Already?
Well, it took me 33 hours and him 20.
How long have you had it? I don't understand.
We got it the day after Thanksgiving.
Wow, that's pretty good. So you know what's funny about that is like...
I might do a stream with it tomorrow, actually. If my copy shows up tomorrow, I might stream it during the day.
Yeah. So I kind of forgot that game existed, and then Johnny did his... What?
Okay.
What?
I just saw the 989 Studios. So 989, like I don't think they ever really made a good game. Like they're the ones that kind of got the rights to, or saddled with the burden of making all the like Twisted Metal 3 and 4.
Yeah.
They were doing all the sports games, like the NFL Game Day and stuff like that. And I feel like every game that they made was bad.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay, sorry.
What about this game? Or do you not like this game outside of the taser?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's great, but I haven't played it a lot.
See, I loved this game back then, but I don't know how enjoyable this game is going to be now.
This is one of the few that's decent, I guess.
I just want to figure out the controls here real quick because I don't remember.
But 989, they did Twisted Metal 2 and 3. They did Jet Moto 3. I mean, I'm gonna look at the games of 989 Studios.
Sorry, I just shot the wrong guy there. Oh, I guess it's okay.
What did they make?
Oh, game over. So we'll start again. What was I saying? Oh, I was just gonna. Didn't I already talk? I think I already told you the story about Monster Boy. Never mind. Well, nobody else heard it. I had kind of forgotten that Monster Boy game even existed.
Mm-hmm.
And then Johnny did his video about it. That was just sort of first impressions or whatever of the game.
Right.
And I just got my Switch a week ago, right? And so I'm like, oh, maybe I should get that game. Maybe I would like it. And so I went to go pre-order it, and then I just, for whatever reason, I didn't. You know why I didn't is because I feel like anytime I buy a new system, I always get systems after they've been out for a little while, and there's already a bunch of good games out for it, and then I end up buying too many games, and then not actually beating any of them,
Right.
And so I got Super Mario Odyssey, and I have Sonic Mania Plus, and I have Mega Man 11, And so I'm just like, well, I should just cool it and not buy any more games, you know? And so even though I watched Johnny's video and was like, oh, that looks like a cool game, I decided I wasn't going to pre-order it, you know? And then like 3 or 4 days later, I get this email from Amazon saying like, hey, we just want to let you know that your pre-order has been upgraded to release day delivery. And I'm like, what pre-order, you know? And I go look on Amazon, and it turns out I pre-ordered Monster Boy for the PS4 like whenever it was announced or whatever, like a year ago or something, and then completely forgot about it. And then once I saw that, I just figured, like, I forgot where I'm supposed to go, by the way, so, oh, here we go. There's the taser. All right, now I just gotta go find someone to kill. So I went ahead and I canceled my pre-order, but then I figured, well, at some point, you know, in the past, like, I made the decision. Here we go. All right, you'll see it in a minute, but we both died. I was standing too close to him, and he lit on fire and lit me on fire.
And killed
That's
you.
even better.
Yeah,
so
that's even something they thought that you could do.
Yeah. So anyway, I figured, you know, at some point I made the financial decision to pre-order this game. So I might as well just pre-order it again, and so I went ahead and pre-ordered it for the Switch, and then that's why it showed up today.
We're just watching that. Finally seeing it. I love that it switches to a different angle.
Yeah, it's cinematic.
It gives you like the close-up of it. When this came out, I put it on when I was working in electronics boutique, and I discovered the taser, and I actually tased somebody, and I put a rubber band on the controller, and like let him, like, kept him being tased.
Really?
Yeah. It's.
See, we need to do a long play where we just can I play the entire game?
This right here is, you know, this is the best reason to play the game.
You know, the thing is, the way
he's like on top of the building, he's like, I got you now.
He didn't even come down, I already got him.
Getting the drop on you.
You know what the thing is about the way he runs? You know, like you were mentioning how he runs funny. You know what it reminds me of? Like, you know when you have those dreams where somebody's chasing you like a monster or some kidnappers or something, and you're trying to run away, but it's like you can't run very fast because it's like you're trying to run in like waist-high water or something?
Yeah.
That's what this looks like.
It does.
This is the running of my nightmares. I think, am I supposed to go inside this? I think I have to go in here.
Can you tase that guy in the hazmat suit?
You can, but I shot the guy in the hazmat suit, and you get like instant game over.
Oh.
But remember, you could even come in here, and you could well, I know you're not going to see it for a minute, but like you can tase the empty beer bottles and break them.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have just as well not have included that. And you know that was somebody's idea. That's like, how about you tase them for too long and they catch on fire?
Yeah. Oh man, this guy keeps hiding. He keeps getting partially tased. Oh, here we go. All right, he's on fire. There we go. I think I have to go in there, though. I'm still finding this game to be quite entertaining, I gotta be honest.
You're tasing him behind the... Oh, you got a $5 donation from Echo.
Thanks, Echo.
There's no message attached to it. There he goes.
Oh, well, I still appreciate it, Echo. So I don't know what this. Like I always think about this when I play this game. Why won't this guy die? All right, I might have to switch to the. Oh, because he has a flak jacket on.
Oh, there's Kravitz.
What do I have to do with this guy? Oh, he's. Ooh. Where are you going? trying to shoot him in the head, you know. What was I saying? Oh, this is a sniper rifle. I don't want that. Oop, now I'm dead. All right, sorry, that didn't go that well. But, so I got this game when I was in like community college, and I don't think I had internet at home. But of course, I had internet on campus. Like I had an on-campus job, you know, and I had internet on campus, and we had like laser printers, you know. And so like I ended up going to like Office Depot or something and buying like this 2-inch binder, and then at work, like this was probably before like GameFAQs existed, or like, do you say GameFAQs or do you say Game FAQs?
I've always said FAQs.
All right, well, whatever that website is, like this might be before that existed, but I found some website that had like FAQs on it, and so I downloaded like FAQs for like every PlayStation game I owned. And mind you, these were like, you know, big documents that were like, you know, some of them were like 20 or 30 pages long, you know. And I printed all of them out on the laser printer at work and put them all into this big fat binder, so that I had like my own like custom, you know, game guide for all the games that I owned.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't have that anymore, obviously, but my point, I did that around the time that I got this game. Oh, that's Kravitz, yeah, like you said. Well, can I just like take him out from right here with a sniper rifle then?
It's just the taser is funnier than I remember.
Oh, damn it. He saw me and ran.
I mean, if like the tasering, like in catching on fire, like I feel like if you don't think that that's funny, there's something wrong with it.
I agree.
Because it is hilarious. It's even in the game.
Oh, I thought I had him in the head right there. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, once I discovered that, I probably spent most of my... Ooh, did I just get him? I think I just shot him in the head.
You were like, I'm going to tase you. You were determined to tase him at the cost of your own life.
Yeah, that didn't really work out. Oh, yeah, he's dead. All right. How do you, Oh, boy.
Oh, he got up.
Ooh, look at that. Well, you'll see in a minute. I was surrounded and I tased everybody. See, maybe this is what you should do with your bonus live stream, is you should see if you can do a tase-only run. Oh,
yeah, I wonder if it's possible.
All right, I guess we're done in here. All right, I don't know how much more of this game we need to play, but although I'm having a good time, I'm not gonna lie.
You ever seen those glitch videos of GoldenEye with like that Japanese like Get Down song, and like they glitch up the game and like the plane will flip all around in place on its axis within game?
No.
Okay, it makes me kind of think of that. I'll link it to you after the stream.
Okay.
It's like it's a very old glitch video.
Yeah.
And like you could glitch out, you know, GoldenEye on the N64 by like moving the cartridge or something like that when it was running. Just like very like slightly, and it would make certain things like in the scene, like if it, you know, there's one part where like the plane is taking off and it would start spinning around, just like going nuts on its axis.
Yeah.
And it always plays like this. People would edit in this Japanese song.
Huh. I don't know. Yeah, send it to me. I'll check that out. There's a way for you to get to the other side of that fence by going up on that. Like, I think like you shoot the ladder on this fire escape and like it comes down or something? I don't know.
Huey says, it's funny, but I don't know if it's putting a rubber band and watching it for 30 minutes with a laugh funny.
Is that how long you watched it for?
I just put it on the background, probably like for several hours, probably.
Wow.
Like it had just come out, and people are like, "Oh, what's this?"
It's kind of sick, dude.
It's the hot new PlayStation game where you can taser people and they catch on fire if you taser.
See, like how far? What's the range of this taser? You know. Ooh, look at that. Through the fire. Okay, it works through fire. Alright, I don't know. Should we play something else? What do you think?
Yeah, let's play something else.
Alright. I think you should pick again. I've picked quite a few at this point. Or the chat. Anybody in the chat? Like,
is there any requests?
Who's got the fastest fingers? Ooh, somebody got Bubsy 3D for Christmas in 1997.
Oh.
You know what was funny is like, sometimes I kind of open my mouth on Twitter when I shouldn't, And it's like a pet peeve of mine. I feel like it's one of these things that like Reddit type people do, where they want to get their entire game collection down off the shelf and spread it out on the floor and take a picture of it.
Oh yeah, I see that. That happens a lot, and I can understand the appeal of doing that, but it seems like so much effort.
It does, but
like I don't want to put it all back.
It also seems like false humility. Like somebody takes down their whole Super Nintendo collection that's like $1,000 worth of games and just says, here's my humble Super Nintendo collection. How am I doing so far? And it's like, really, man?
Hang on. R4 was the first one that was
R4?
mentioned.
All right. He wins. So anyway, somebody did something like that on Twitter, right? They had like, they took down, like they owned like every Zelda game ever made, right? And they take them all down and they're like, oh, here's my Zelda collection. Am I missing any, And I just made some, it's one of those times where I should have kept my mouth shut, but I just said something about, whatever, taking pictures of your games instead of playing them or showing off or whatever. And the guy wanted to try to like zing me back, And so he went through my Twitter feed and found a picture I had taken a few months earlier because I went to some like used bookstore and found a complete in the box copy of Bubsy 3D. And I bought it, but because I didn't have it, it's like $2, because it's like a famously bad game, right?
Yeah.
And so I bought it and I took a picture of it and I forgot what I said, but it was like sarcastic, like, oh, I finally got this gem for my collection. And so the guy was like, oh, well, see, you did it. And I was just like, that went over your head.
Oh, you gotta let this opening.
All right.
Play. I used to have a T-shirt of this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got it. It was when they came out. You get it free at EB at Electronics Boutique, and I think I might still have it somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like I might have it somewhere.
Well, you should wear it for your show.
I should. I mean, it's vintage 1997 or 98 when this came out.
Yeah, Vinny says it in the chat there. It's called humble bragging. Yeah. Kind of a pet peeve of mine, humble bragging.
I always laugh about, drifting in games.
Yeah.
Like, I don't laugh about it, but I laugh about, when Fast and the Furious 3 Tokyo Drift came out.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's kind of cool. It's like the stuff they do in Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
And then, my wife was asking about it, and she's like, oh, is that the one where they drive sideways?
That's funny.
Just like somebody who doesn't really know what it is or anything like that. It's just like, oh, they're driving sideways.
Yeah. That's fun. That was another game that we used to have in the arcade on campus before they got rid of it. Is that we had like 4 of those sit-down initial D cabinets. Mm-hmm. The drifting game. Because that's the one that you'd buy the memory card. That you could keep putting in, sort of like Neo Geo style, except I think this might have been just a paper card or something. I don't quite remember, but you could keep a game going.
Oh yeah,
really? Like Smoke Monster just said, is this Earthbound worth anything? Yeah, exactly. People do that. All right, so what do we do here? Grand Prix or Time Attack? Grand Prix, right?
Yeah. Right. I mean, it has a whole like story mode, I think.
Well, probably nobody wants to sit through story mode though.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There is a definite style to this game.
Thomas wants to know if we're still talking about scrambled porn. I mean, no, we could, I guess. I don't really know.
I don't know if there's.
Really I was going to bring this up. Google bought me. Says, was it Chris who said Ridge Racer isn't about drifting? Yeah, I said that very incorrectly.
Oh, when did you say that? When did you say that?
So, like, I mean, I'm not encouraging anybody to go back and watch it, because please don't. But like, when I made the launch of the PlayStation video, for some reason I had it in my head that I needed to have like more attitude on my show. Like, I just need to have a little bit of tude, so I like stand out, you know, or whatever. And so I started like, and that's like the video where like I said, you know, I said I didn't like Mortal Kombat. I said Road Rash was overrated. And then I made this comment about how, like, you know, Ridge Racer, in the original Ridge Racer, if you're drifting, you're doing it wrong, which is like exactly the opposite of what is true.
Of what is true?
Yeah, like you're supposed to drift in that game. But I've always found in the original Ridge Racer that you can be faster if you don't drift. Like if you just try to like keep your car on rails. But you can get through most of the game that way. But when you have to fight or like race against the black car or whatever, you know, at the end, like if you don't drift, there's no way you're gonna beat that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really even understand drifting in this game for a long time. The game that really made me understand drifting was Outrun 2.
Is this like story mode? Because this is way too many questions.
Yeah, I mean, it has like an actual story mode.
But I just wanted to race, like.
Should have done a time attack then.
Yeah. All right. I hit the reset button because I'm gonna just go back in. Yeah, Eric says, I watched that episode more than once. You have every right to express yourself. No, I agree with that, but at the same time, I think I was doing it because I was like trying to be edgy, you know? So I look back on it now and it's kind of cringy because like, I think throughout most of the show, like, I'm just being myself, you know? But like in that video, I was trying to like be like an edgelord or whatever, you know? And it just came off being like really stupid, you know? And then, yeah, I even said that. Mike the Red said, feel free to tell me how... So the exact quote, Mike, was, feel free to tell me how wrong I am in the comment section. But that was talking about Road Rash. When I said that Road Rash... I said Road Rash was like one of the most overrated games ever, which I still kind of...
You still feel that way, though?
Well, here's the problem, is that I was actually talking about the Genesis version, which I still feel that way about, only because I don't think the Genesis was really up to the task of properly running Road Rash. Like, if you played on the 3DO or the PlayStation, Road Rash is good. But what's that?
I think it's pretty impressive for the hardware.
I mean, maybe it's impressive in that it's doing something that the hardware shouldn't be able to do, but I don't think it does that great of a job, personally.
So when you talk about like the 3DO, PS1, and Saturn version,
yeah,
like do you feel like that's really good then?
Yeah, like that runs more smoothly. Like that hardware is up to the task of running that game.
It's like one of the first like fully licensed soundtracks too.
Yeah, which means
the soundtrack in that game is amazing.
Which means you can't really show it on your show, you know.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, like I'd never played a game that had so much like real music in it.
Yeah, it was funny the first time I've ever had to deal with this, but you know, in that Dreamcast magazine read-through video, you know, I showed a little bit of Crazy Taxi, you know, and I had to turn off the music because you know, it was like I turned on the game and it was like an Offspring song.
Yeah. You got another $5 Canadian donation from
Duckfield's really... Well, I don't want to... I was going to say something vulgar and I won't, but in a good way. But Duckfield's being very generous tonight. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean...
What part of... I don't know if Duckfield wants to answer this, but what part of Canada are you in? Because, you know, as you may or may not know there, Coury, I just got back from Vancouver about a month ago. I had my first solo fan meetup in Vancouver.
You had some people show up.
Yeah, well, you know, the one that I did with you guys was the first time I'd ever tried to do like a fan meetup, you know? Because the thing is, I kind of wanted to do it with you just because it was like having a security blanket around, you know? Because I was like kind of nervous, you know?
We had a lot of people show up too.
Yeah, mostly for you though.
You had a lot of people too.
Oh, please, nobody came to see me. But yeah, in Vancouver, yeah, like 6 people came out. But I was pretty nervous before that too, so. But that ended up being cool. So, I mean, so did San Francisco, but it was so loud in there we couldn't even hardly talk to anybody. You know.
Yeah, I mean that was a mistake and a lesson learned.
Yeah, I mean it was fun though, and that was good pizza. But the place I went in Vancouver was like this bar, but it's like a gamer bar, you know, like they have all these board games that you can just like check out, and the whole place has kind of like this medieval theme to it, you know. It's really cool. What they needed in there though is they need an arcade machine, like the Dungeons and Dragons arcade game.
What is it? The Mystara?
Yeah.
They
had a gumball machine that had D20 dice in it.
Oh, that's cool.
So I got a couple of those as souvenirs.
I see Taylor Bateglia saying, you two need to come to Buffalo. You know, I grew up outside of Buffalo.
Yeah, there you go.
I was just in Buffalo in September.
Yeah? Well, you should go say hi to Taylor for him. Taylor's a cool kid.
I will next time. I grew up in Jamestown, which is about an hour outside.
Is that where they all drank the Kool-Aid? The Colt?
No.
Kidding, that's Jonestown. I was making a joke. Yeah, somebody said this game still looks good, so I don't know. To me, this looks like, is there a problem with this game, you think, or?
I heard the sound is messy on it.
Oh, I mean, I guess I got the sound turned down, so I can't hear it too much. And plus, I haven't played this game in about 20 years, so. But it's fun to play. I mean, I'm not good at it because I'm not good at drifting games, but it seems pretty fun anyway. I don't know. I just feel like so far from what I've seen of the system, like if you're like this casual gamer that like used to have a PlayStation back in the 90s and hasn't messed around with one since and isn't really a hardcore gamer, I don't think you'd buy this system and have a problem with it, you know.
Yeah, I think.
But the price tag is a little bit steep, so I don't know if those types of people are going to be buying this system.
That's exactly it. I think that it would be a lot more palatable to people if it was $70.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have taken it and like made it like priced it right in between, like the NES Classic and the Super NES Classic.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand why they thought like, okay, well because what's the NES Classic like? Is it 60 and 70 or 60 and 80 or something like that?
It's 60 and 80, yeah.
So why is just because it's 32-bit games they should be able to charge $100?
Yeah, like, that was probably their.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit too much. All right, what do you think? Another one, or we should probably?
Yeah. Let's play one more, then I kind of want you to go through your list really quick of things that you brought down that you think should have been on it.
Well, I didn't write them down, buddy. I brought the games downstairs.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I got visual aids, pal. Do you want to delete the existing resume point? I guess I must have accidentally created a resume point. I didn't even know you could do that. So, I kind of wanted to check out Cool Borders just because it's a game that is kind of fast, and so I wonder if it looks good. So, although actually somebody requested that I play Rayman. What do you think about that?
You play what?
Rayman, just to check out.
Oh, sure.
Someone wanted to check out the visuals.
It's pretty tough.
Oh no, it's a super hard game, but I think somebody wanted to see how it looked. So yeah, we'll play this, and then we can go through the games that I brought down here, and then maybe we should think about starting to wrap it up. It's been like 2.5 hours, so.
Yeah, I just want to.
Well, it's like 2 in the morning where you are right now, or something like that.
No, it's 11.
I was kidding. Eric says he wants the SMS Classic and the TurboGrafx Classic. Yeah, I could.
Yeah, TurboGrafx Classic would be awesome, and a Sega CD Classic would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they are going to do another. I bet you they do a PlayStation DualShock Edition.
Yeah.
Classic before they do a PS2 Classic. I think a PS2 Classic is still That's harder to emulate than even the N64 is.
Yeah.
Probably. A lot harder, really, when you think about it.
Oh man, Drew Bonnick must have just shown up. He said, "Did he try Siphon Filter yet?" He missed all
Yeah,
of
you missed the taser action.
I must have burned at least 20 people alive.
And laughed about it.
Oh yes.
I have a copy of this. When I was at Missouri Game Con last summer, somebody gave me this game.
Wow. Long box?
No.
Oh.
The only long box game that I own, I actually have 2 long box games now, and that is the Philosoma. Philosoma.
I think I might have that one.
And Return Fire.
Huh.
Have you played Return Fire?
On the 3DO.
Oh yeah, that's where I first played it too.
In fact, I remember I was playing that game. My in-laws were here visiting, and I was sitting in my room playing Return Fire, and I just remember my father-in-law coming in the room and seeing me sitting in there playing a video game, and he just gave me this look. You know?
Yeah.
Like.
But you didn't enjoy the music? I mean, the music is.
No, I think he just looked at, like I was sitting in there playing it, like, I'm an adult sitting in there playing a video game, and it's like, I let you marry my daughter.
Just disgusted about it.
A little bit. So, because I remember, because didn't John Linneman brought this game up specifically in his review, because he was kind of talking about how this system doesn't have super sharp, it doesn't have pixel perfect graphics, right?
Right.
And he kind of brought this one up specifically because, admittedly, this game looks, as beautiful as any game looks in RGB. This one looks even nicer, right? I mean, the artwork of this game is pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was a little bit unhappy with. I forgot how you kill things in this game, but he kind of used this as a example of, like, here's a game that doesn't look great because the system has kind of blurry graphics.
Yeah. And it's it's that 2D artwork, which is not it's obviously not what the system is focusing on.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I can't I don't know what it looks like on the stream. Obviously it's not going to look as good over the stream, but I mean, I'm sitting in front of like a 27-inch HD TV, and like my face is only about 18 inches from the screen, and like I think it looks pretty good. Like. Yeah, it's not gonna. If I turn on the PlayStation right now through the FrameMeister, like, clearly it's gonna look better. But this looks pretty good.
That costs more than $100.
What's that?
It costs more than $100 to get those results.
True.
I mean, when it comes down to it, that's the target audience for these systems are people that really just want to play for a little bit and then move on. People that own the originals and stuff. That's not who these systems are made for. And it's interesting to look at the techniques used to make them accessible.
Yeah.
But I mean, ultimately, that's not their target audience.
Right.
And that's what matters. It's the people that want to buy this because they remember it, but they don't want to spend, $300 on a Switch, or they don't want to spend whatever it costs to play these older games. Like there's no effort required.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. I think that is totally fine.
Although that's why I got upset, when the NES Classic came out and you couldn't find it anywhere. Mm-hmm. Is I felt like their target audience really was like, some guy our age, but who really isn't a gamer anymore. Mm-hmm. Or only plays modern games, like certainly isn't like a retro gamer like us. Like walking into like Target one day and like seeing an NES Classic like running. Like I just feel like they could have handled the launch of that thing so much better. Like they could have had like a demo kiosk even if you couldn't actually play it, they could have had a demo
Right.
kiosk with the NES Classic running, and you see like some 40-year-old guy coming into Target, with 3 kids in tow, that maybe hasn't seen an NES, since like 1992 or something. Seeing something like that
And
running,
yeah, it comes up with forgotten what it's like to have fun.
yeah, and like buying it because there's a whole pile of them there, But
Yeah.
of course, you couldn't find one anywhere for such a long time.
Yeah, but there's a crazy amount out there. I was at Target earlier, and they had a lot of NES classics.
Even the controller's not hard to find anymore either. Like
No, and the controller's a really good deal. I mean, the controller's it's $10.
yeah. That's why I think it's funny that controller 2-pack for the Switch is like, what is it, like $60?
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
I ordered it just because I thought it was kind of neat, but I wonder if it can be. I wonder if they will make any firmware for like the retro receiver or anything like that.
Yeah. Do you did you sign up for that Nintendo Online, whatever it's called?
Yeah. I mean, we did a video on it, like pretty close to when it released.
I don't remember that. I guess I missed it. I mean, I'm still on my free trial. When you buy a Switch now, you get like a. Well, maybe everybody that has a Nintendo account, I don't know. You get like a free week,
Oh, okay.
And so I signed up for the free week, but this might sound weird, but as soon as I saw that Tecmo Bowl was one of the games that you could play on there, like to me that's worth $20 a year.
Is that you can just like play it anywhere. And you know what I like about it? I mean, this is just coming from somebody who has a lot of old games physically and likes to keep track of the games that I have and haven't finished.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it's kind of a service and you just have all these games available to you that you don't actually own.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice that you don't have to be like, oh, I gotta play through all these. I wanted to.
I like that. I thought it was cool too that there's the Gradius special that I played in there that was pretty cool, and there was some other game that had a special version too that was neat. Did you see someone in the chat saying somebody completely plagiarized the DFPS Classic video you helped out with? So that's Digital Foundry, I guess.
Oh, they like somebody just wrote that in a review.
I mean, maybe Scoot there can.
Who was it? I didn't.
More,
I didn't really like. He credited me, but like my involvement was so minimal. All I did was give him the commercials that he put in there.
Well, that's something.
It's cool seeing like he credited me like that though.
Yeah. Anyway, I exited out of the game. I felt like that was enough of that.
Okay. All right, so let's see. Let's go through your list real quick.
I don't have a list. I have a stack.
Oh yeah, I mean, yes. Let's see your stack. Let's see your fat stack.
Okay. Yeah. So, so the first thing I just want to say about this is I could have easily brought down twice as many games, but I was just trying to be reasonable and realistic. So, like I already mentioned this, like I didn't bring down like a Gran Turismo game only because I don't think it was ever realistic that Gran Turismo was going to be on this, just because of the horrible licensing headache that would be involved in trying to license all the cars. So that's why that's not there. But these are just some games that either these games don't require any kind of weird licensing, or I think it'd be kind of easier to get around it.
Okay.
So the first one I already showed, Crash Bandicoot. Just because, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a Naughty Dog game, right? So, but I don't know who owns the rights to this, or like, is Naughty Dog?
Well, I think
around?
it has more to do with like the Insane trilogy that came, the remake.
Okay, so
they don't want to affect the sales of that.
That's kind of what I figured. Maybe it was something like that. But at the same time, like, if you're trying to put together a list of like 20 iconic PlayStation games, it's kind of odd that this isn't on there.
Yes.
But, so yeah, that was the first one. The second one, so this is one that there might be some licensing issues with, but just like to me, it was one of the really heavy hitters on the PlayStation. Was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, obviously there's licensed music in here, but I feel like that would be easy to get around. But maybe the likeness rights for the skaters.
Yeah, I'm sure Tony Hawk would be like all about it.
Oh
if
yeah,
he
but
has
there's
control over
there's
it,
lots
like,
of
he
other
would
skaters
definitely
in
let
here
them
too.
use it.
So I mean, maybe Bob Burnquist might be the stick in the mud on that one.
Oh
Or
yeah.
yeah. So this one probably is another game where it's probably they don't want this interfering with sales of current versions of the game, but that's Hot Shots Golf.
Oh yeah. I agree with it. I agree with it. I don't think it would be affecting the sales of the new one. I don't think the new one sold very good. And not only that, but maybe they didn't want to include Hot Shots Golf because the new version switched it over to coincide with the Japanese naming scheme, so it became like
True.
everybody's golf.
Yeah, I kind of didn't like that,
But that is a great point. Like that, I can't believe that is not on there because there's no sports games on
yeah, I mean, I'm not
at all.
surprised that there's not like an NFL game day or something on there, but but yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
something like this. It just like I would have expected this to maybe be on there, but it wasn't. And then somebody already mentioned this one in the chat like many hours ago, but I kind of agreed just because this was kind of a bigger game. When did this game come out? Well, somebody else can tell me when it came out. 96. All right, Jet Moto.
Yeah, I agree with that too. That's another single track. That's like the same
Yeah.
people that made
Jet Moto 2, in my opinion, is not a good game, but the original Jet Moto was great.
Interesting. I only have the second one.
Yeah, no, you should play the original Jet Moto. This might be actually one of the biggest surprises for me that this game is not on there, and I'm really not sure why. Because this is a Sony game, as far as I know. Says it is anyway on here. I mean, I don't know who actually developed it, but it's Sony published anyway. And that's Parappa the Rapper.
Oh yeah, I mean that's Sony developed it.
Yeah, so like
Yeah, that's surprising that is not on there either. I think that probably has to do with input lag.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, because this game was stupid popular when it came out.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I mean the sequel is pretty good too.
And then maybe this, I don't know if this would fall under the category of games that just don't age well. Although Siphon Filter's on there. So, but to me, this is another this is an iconic series on the PlayStation. I'm not saying this exact entry should have been on there, or I would expect to see it on there. I'd actually kind of expect to see the first one on there, but the one I pulled down off the shelf is Ace Combat 2.
Yeah, not having an Ace Combat game on there is surprising.
Yeah,
and 2 would be the one I would pick.
I brought this one down. This is the one that I played first. I played this one, I got this one back in the day, right? But then I got the first one. And then I have it now, but I never got Ace Combat 3 Electrosphere because by the time I was interested in buying that game, I already had a PS2. And I don't know if this happens to you, so as soon as I got my PS2, I was no longer willing to spend $50 on a PS1 game. Because for the same $50 I could get a PS2 game. What?
I still bought PS1 games.
All right. Well, I mean, I was already, as I think we already kind of we touched on, I was, pretty cheap already and wanted to buy a $20 game. So buying a $50 game for me was kind of a big ask. And then once I could spend $50 on PS2 games, I didn't want to spend $50 on PS1 games. And then, so once again, I could have brought down many more games, but the last one that I brought down, and I guess, again, given my choice, this is probably not the installment in the series that I would actually put on there, but if they were going to put any on there, I would think it would be this one, and that's the original Wipeout.
Yeah, I saw some people mentioning Wipeout. That's surprising that's not on there either.
Yeah, I mean, I always preferred Wipeout XL, but
yeah.
Have you ever had one of those NedgeCon controllers?
No.
Twisty job there. Those were compatible with a lot of racing games, but I always felt like they were practically made for Wipeout games, even though of course Namco made that thing, so it wasn't literally made for Wipeout games. So how many games is that? Like 7? So that's what I got. So I don't know if you have a list, but if not, maybe if you at least have some games off the top of your head.
I mean, there's a lot of good suggestions in the chat. I mean, I can't believe that the Tomb Raider's not on there.
Yeah.
Legend of Dragoon is not on there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tenchu, that's surprising.
Oh, I loved that game when it came out.
Yeah, I mean,
I played that game not that long
choice.
ago, actually. I think maybe last winter I popped that one in and played it for a while. Tenchu.
I mean, Let's see. I'm just kind of skimming through my list.
Oh, James Digert in the chat came up with a whole list here.
Oh, really?
Suikoden. Is that how you say that game? Suikoden?
It's.
I've never heard
have
it
always
spoken.
I've recently found out that I was saying it correctly, and it's just Suikoden.
Okay, Suikoden. All right. Dragon Warrior 7. I don't know if that would have ever happened, but that would be cool.
That's a good pick, I think.
It's a good pick. Yeah, Colony Wars. That's a good one.
It is.
All the Colony Wars games are good. Command and Conquer, Doom. There's a good version of Doom on the PlayStation for sure. Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics is a good choice.
It says Armored Core is on the Japanese.
Apparently,
version.
I own Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. I own a physical copy. That's definitely.
How do you know that?
Do
you have like a list on your computer?
I'm just looking at my backlog right now.
Oh,
it's just like my game list.
Didn't that game come out on the Dreamcast? Rainbow Six?
It may have.
I feel like it did. Silent Hill, yeah, that would have been a good
Silent Hill is a good choice.
But you don't need Silent Hill and Resident Evil, though. I mean, do you? I mean,
yeah, but I mean, it's interesting to put them both on there.
Yeah.
There's no Konami games on there. That's surprising.
It's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even mention that one. I guess Castlevania Symphony of the Night, right?
Yeah, I bet they just had the new version, a recent release. That's probably why they didn't do it.
Maybe.
Let's see what else here. Breath of Fire 3 would be a good choice. Bubsy 3D, obviously. What if that was like on there?
I'd have
the hottest games for your PlayStation, released for the PlayStation, and Bubsy.
Did you ever? There was that podcast called A Life Well Wasted. You ever listen to that podcast?
Oh, Life Well Wasted, yeah.
You remember that episode where there was that guy that was a little off maybe or something, and like the only game he ever played was Bubsy, and he would just play the crap out of it.
I don't remember that, but I remember the first one was all about like the death of EGM.
I've probably listened to that episode like 6 times.
Yeah, I mean that was such a good podcast, and
yeah,
you could tell that it took a long time to make every single one of them.
Oh, I think that's why he quit. I can't imagine the amount of work that took.
Yeah, I don't think Blasto would be good for it, but I think that like something like Tomba would have been good put on here. Tomba. But it is interesting because there's not a lot of specifically Sony made games on the PS1. So they have to work out a lot more license. Nintendo had the benefit of being able to just like include have most of the games included just are their own.
I mean, that's true, that helps, but I mean, I don't know, when the lineup or whatever of this system got announced, I know a lot of people had a problem with it. I mean, for me at least, I'm happy with the vast majority of games on here. There's like a couple games where it's like, given my personal preference, I would switch them out for different games. But it's just like the bottom line is that there's just more than 20 iconic games on the PlayStation. So like your choice is to either leave some stuff out or have more than 20 games,
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that the real problem with this thing is more with like, with all the, the weirdness stuff, I guess, going on with the emulator and whatever. And it just, I don't know. Like the thing is like Nintendo puts out a product, and I'm not like a Nintendo fanboy or anything, but it's just like, Nintendo puts out, there are 2 classic systems, and it's like, aside from maybe saying like, oh, I'm not, where's why isn't the original Contra on the NES Mini, right?
Right.
Like, you have to really try to find something to complain about with those systems,
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's like Nintendo, right? Like, they're not going to put out something that's like super crappy, right? And so I don't understand.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, I think that's true, and especially since they have the lineup to just put on there, and they have it be good. I mean, the Super NES especially.
Yeah.
basically has no filler at all. With the NES, we like trying to think about the black box games
Yeah.
are generally kind of like filler content that they can put on there because it's easy and simple things to play,
Yeah.
but it's none of it's especially great. Like maybe like Balloon Fight, I guess is good, but like Ice Climber is pretty bad.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up his Ice Climber, yeah. But I'm saying overall, like like the NES Classic is like a very very good product,
Yeah.
because they do everything they need to do to make it a good product, I guess, however you want to put it. And so it's just
Yeah.
like it surprises me that Sony would,
Well, not only that, but how many games even on this collection are 2 players?
oh wow, that's a good. Let's look, because that's a good
I
question.
mean, like including 2 controllers with it. I mean, how many games can you even play on here with 2 players?
Well, I mean, I'm not really a 2-player gamer, so I guess a lot of these, but like that's no, right? That's a no. Sorry, you can't see. I forgot. Resident Evil would be a no, right?
Right.
Persona, no.
Mm-hmm.
Ridge Racer, I don't know. Can you play like split screen Ridge Racer? I would think.
I don't know. Maybe time trial. Oh
Yeah.
no, it says 2 players. It says it right on the
Oh,
screen.
well, I'm stupid. Yeah, okay. Well, Puzzle Fighter, of course. Siphon Filter, no. Tekken, obviously. Rainbow Six, no. Twisted Metal, of course. Wild Arms, no. Toshinden, yeah. Wow, Destruction. Yeah, Destruction Derby's 1 player, because if you wanted to play Destruction Derby 2-player, you had to have a link cable and 2 systems back in the day.
Oh.
But, well, let's just. So if I start with Rayman, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of the 20 games you can play 2-player. Seems
I mean,
like,
that seems pretty lopsided, I think.
yeah, especially when they're giving you 2 controllers.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of suggesting like, hey, here's something for you to play 2-player.
Yeah, I wonder if they had greater intentions for stuff. And I wonder how it got to be the way that it ended up.
Yeah.
I think that some people were saying, the fact that you can access that emulator made it seem like, oh, they were putting this in there so that people could actually access it and fix it if they wanted to. Like it seems like it was rushed, done by a outside of Sony, by somebody who didn't really know a ton about what they were doing. So they felt like going to and just like getting one of these emulators was probably easier than building their own, maybe.
I guess. I mean, couldn't they? I mean, I'm clueless with this kind of stuff, but it's just like, couldn't they have just taken like the hardware, or however much of the hardware they would need out of something like the PlayStation TV or whatever?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's kind of what John was getting at. I mean,
Yeah.
that hardware would probably be cheaper to manufacture than this is.
Yeah.
They could just like repackage the PSTV and like as QE in the chat is saying, if only repackage the PSTV into the classic, so you can just buy your own game.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be incredible. Or like even that, and they could also sell like memory cards that have games on it.
Yeah.
Like game packs.
Yeah. They could.
Like that would be hugely popular.
Yeah. Is that true?
You sell one of those packs for like $20.
Yeah. Who wouldn't do that?
Yeah, and it just like plays off. There's like there's like eight gigs of flash memory in it that just like holds onto and it boots off of those.
Yeah.
That would have been so smart.
Yeah. Is it? People are saying, like, I've heard people say this before too. Is the PSTV like pricey now if you want to go buy one?
Yes, it's actually gotten. It's like $150, $200.
No.
When they could, when they could not get rid of them.
What I mean,
and now they're.
Is it just because you can load up PlayStation games on it? I mean, I have one, but I haven't like hacked.
Well,
it's
completely hacked now. Like, but you can.
I mean, why is it that much better than like a Raspberry Pi? I'm just honestly asking. I'm
well, it's
because
it's Vita hardware.
Yeah. Well, that's true. So you
And
can
it's
play all
like,
the Vita games, right?
yeah, you can play Vita games, you can play PSP games, and you can play PS1 games.
That's pretty cool. Maybe I should hack mine.
Yeah, just don't update the firmware. I mean, I know that it's hackable up to like the last most
Well,
recent firmware.
I mean, I got mine when they were clearing. Like, I got mine for like 1999. So I mean,
Yeah.
my point is it's pretty old. So I don't. I mean, and
Does
I've
it make you wish you had just bought a whole bunch?
well, kind of. I mean, but what it makes me glad is I didn't sell it because I was gonna sell it because I bought
Yeah.
it and then never did anything with it. And I'm like, I should just get rid of this thing. And I was just like, some little voice in my head said, nah, just stick it in the closet. You know, like you might want to play with that someday. So
Yeah.
so that's why I kept it. So
But when this thing is completely hacked, it'll be pretty cool, I think. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it only has 16 gigs of memory.
that's what I read. Yeah.
But I bet they can make it so that you can add more games in the second, in like the controller slot or something.
Yeah, like you could probably just stick a USB thumb drive into slot number 2, don't you think?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Now I'm kind of second. I don't know if I should keep this thing or send it back, but
I mean, it's gonna get hacked and probably will be. I bet it'll be hacked before by January.
but even if it gets hacked, it's still just emulation, right? So how is this better than having a PSTV?
I mean, it's not. It's
Yeah.
just kind of neat to have, I guess.
I don't know. I'll think about it.
I mean, I think it'll be hacked like before 2019,
Yeah. Wow.
like blown wide open.
Yeah. That'd be
It'd
cool.
be simple to do.
All right. Well, it took me forever to find my RGB cable to hook up my real PlayStation, and then we never had to pull the chute. So, but that's okay. But so now, I mean, we're about the 3 hour mark now, so I think it's time to
Yeah, it's about midnight.
wind things down here and let Coury go to bed or whatever he does this time of night. Well,
Well, this is a lot of fun. Thanks for having me
yeah,
on.
I'm glad you had a good time. I mean, thanks so much for coming on. Like I originally wanted you to be the first guest on the show, but then I did the Amiga live stream and I invited Todd to come on, but then he got sick, so I got my original wish, I guess, because then you still got to be the first guest.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm excited to see who else you have lined up. I mean, I know you told me already, but I don't want to spoil it.
Oh yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, and hopefully you'll come back
Yeah, of course.
someday.
Of course. I mean, it's always fun to just get on here and chat about whatever comes to mind. Like scrambled
Yeah.
cable porn.
What do you think? Like, I mean, I want to let you go and everything, but I guess I want your opinion along with the opinion of everybody in the chat room. But so I was really tempted today. I almost scheduled this live stream on the main channel instead of on this channel, but then I chickened out and didn't do it. Like, do you think at some point I should just start streaming on the other channel, or do you like my line of thinking is that anybody that would want to watch me do a live stream is already subscribed to this channel. But maybe
are watching on here.
What's that?
Sorry, you cut out for a second, but I assume that you said that anybody would want to watch you do a live stream would know about this channel already.
Yeah, like it's already on this channel. Like, I mean, is it any? I don't know.
I don't know. It's a big gap in numbers.
Yeah, it's huge. But when I do live stream,
I don't think there's any reason why you can't stream on the other channel. It's not. I mean, you could just do the same thing as we do, and like, if you don't want, like, we don't want the live streams to dilute our video listing,
right?
So that's why we do the unlisted thing.
Yeah.
And then post them.
But
and then you can always post those streams. You can like make a playlist on this channel.
That's what I was going to say. Is what I would probably do is I would download the stream off of YouTube and then re-upload it to this channel.
You could do that, but the other thing you can probably do is you can make your own playlist. You could make a playlist of all of your live streams and put them on the front page of your main channel and see if people watch them.
Yeah. Well, I'll try it. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't really. I mean, I guess I never really took live streaming that seriously, or thought I would really enjoy it or want to keep doing it. But yeah. But I've really
Smoke
been
Monster
enjoying
thinks
it
you have like 1,000 people watching on the other channel, which would be would blow our numbers
Well, if you
away.
can't get that many, I can't get that many. But I don't need 1,000 people watching anyway. But
You never know, though. I mean, you could get. I bet you'd get 300-400.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'd be kind of. I mean, I guess the
That's
more
like a
people,
lot of
then
pressure.
the chat would just be kind of going crazy. But I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a
But
try.
that's why maybe you should only stream on the other channel when you have somebody to be on with you.
That's true. Well, half of it was I just felt like I should stream on the other channel because you were on the show, and I figure you're not going to get anything out of streaming on a channel with like less than 5,000 subscribers.
See, Neon Lights is saying keep the videos on this channel, but streams to your main channel when you're live.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I mean, I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, see what kind of reaction. It's not gonna. People are not gonna unsubscribe because of that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that
I'm kind of at a
fine.
point
I mean,
where I wouldn't care if they did anyway. Like,
right, and yeah, I mean, I'm the kind of person that thinks that like the content you do on this channel would be totally fine on there too.
really, all of it.
Yeah,
Wow.
basically, I think that I think it's fine to kind of have like a variety channel.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I kind of overthink all that stuff, and I think, but like it's funny because I even talked about this a little bit in the end of the flashback video that I haven't released yet. But I'm just really getting to a point where I just kind of don't care anymore. Like I'm going to do what I want to do, and if people like it, then you can hang around, and if you don't, because like one of the things I was saying is I really want to make more magazine read-throughs. Like I really enjoy making those, but for like the longest time I've kind of had this like rule that there has to be a certain ratio of magazine read-throughs to like launch videos, right? Because like people subscribe to the channel for the launch videos, and if there's too many magazine read-throughs, they're gonna be like, all right.
I don't know. You should look at your daily. I guarantee you that people might subscribe.
Yeah.
For the launch videos, but they stick around for the other stuff.
Maybe I don't. I guess for me, it's just like what part of the problem is like if you look at the views that the launch videos get. There are more views than I even have subscribers, right? So I've kind of gotten used to that, and so then when I when I upload like a magazine read through and it gets like 10, 12, 15,000 views, like to me that's like really bad. But I don't, only because it's not what I'm used to, but I think like because I was talking to Johnny about that and I told him what those videos get, and he's like, "Oh no, that's actually pretty good. Like that's like normal." And then
I mean, that's kind of what happens. Sometimes you have videos that don't do well. Sometimes you have videos that go beyond expectations. Like our video or the video that tried it on, Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Like game episodes tend to not really do that well.
Yeah.
But we also kind of think of them as they're easier to make.
Yeah.
Too. So it's kind of like the effort versus views ratio is better, or it's like it's more bearable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just for the record, I don't have a problem with like the fact that 15,000 people want to watch me read a magazine. To me, is awesome. I'm not complaining. I just feel like, it makes me look at it and go, well, does that mean I shouldn't make that kind of content because not that many people are watching it compared to the overall subscribers? Like, I'm not at all disappointed in the number of views that those get. So, and that's why, like I said, I want to make even more of those videos because I enjoy making them, and obviously a lot of people enjoy watching them. So
yeah, I don't think you're gonna like lose subscribers by doing those.
All right.
I mean, by doing more of those.
Yeah.
Or if that was happening, you would lose subscribers every time that you posted one of those videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
And if that's not happening, I think that's totally fine. I mean, I think the only way, like I think about what happened with Classic Game Room, like how he started just like putting like really simple videos on his channel.
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know. It was like he was not putting very much effort in, I guess. And I think that like there would be like several of them a day, and I think that pushed some people away. But I mean, you're putting up like thoughtful edited content.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know. I think I'm trying to like stop overthinking things as much, but I still do sometimes. So
I mean, I think the magazine reviews are a ton of fun. But
Thank you.
the reading old game magazines is one of my favorite things I do these
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. Oh, somebody's asking if I'm going to buy one of the arcade one-up cabinets. No.
Not when you got that thing
I
behind
got
you.
this thing back here. Over there.
You got the real deal. You
Yeah.
don't need none of that emulated garbage.
No. See, I haven't had time. I need to work on that. I bought a kick harness for it, but I have to wire it in. So I have I have Street Fighter 2 The World Warrior and I have Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting.
See, yeah,
But
Turbo Hyper Fighting is probably a lot of people consider it maybe the best one.
oh, see, Champion Edition is my favorite.
It's my favorite too.
Nice.
I'm not a big fan of the hyper speed.
Yeah, no,
for
I don't
one
like
thing,
that.
and like all the air hurricane kick and stuff like that felt too much like a hack.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like the different palette swaps, and Championship Edition has a Midnight Blue Ken, which is my favorite character.
Yeah. Cool. Anyway, I need to make the kick harness for that so that I can play at least one of those games. I actually only bought World Warrior first, but then I bought the first Capcom CPS game I bought was Final Fight. And then I don't know if you know, but like the A boards on Capcom CPS games are famous for dying. And like the A board
suicide?
of this, what's that?
Like the suicide battery?
No, I don't think that's where I think the batteries in
CPS2
B board. I'm not really sure, but the A board is like the semi-generic board. Like you can put different games onto an A board. Like the B board and the C board.
I have a CPS2 A board.
Yeah. So my A board on my Final Fight died, and so I couldn't play Final Fight anymore, and I couldn't even if I had a kick harness installed, I couldn't play World Warrior. So the only real reason I bought Hyper Fighting is because it came with a working A board, and so now I can play Final Fight again. But
that's cool though.
Yeah.
But Final Fight is such a great game. I would love to have that game.
Yeah, I might do I might stream that one night, or somebody wanted me to do an arcade stream.
Yeah.
And like I did a couple weeks ago, I did a Neo Geo stream, and I have a consoleized Neo Geo, but for some reason it doesn't like my upscalers. But I have a little
weird.
I have a little tiny super gun, and so I just took the one slot MVS board out of the arcade machine and set it up here on the desk with a super gun. But so I could do the same thing with like Final Fight and Golden Axe. So that would be fun. All right. Anyway, I think people are starting to file out. Anyway, so
well, that was fun.
Yeah, thanks again for coming on, and you should come do it again sometime. And thanks to everybody for hanging out, and thanks a lot for all the contributions tonight. That was
it's huge.
By far the most I've ever gotten. So that's really awesome. I don't know how many of those contributors are still here, but hopefully, I mean, I said thank you to all of them individually, but I'll just say thank you again one more time. And next Tuesday we're doing the Atari 2600. So please hang out for that. I got a guest again next week. He's the guy that runs the Friday Night Arcade YouTube channel, which is a much smaller channel, but I think he makes good content. And so part of the reason I want to have him on the show is hopefully I can get at least a few more people to check him out. So everybody have a good evening, and I'll see you again in a week.
Take care, everybody.